What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 31 of Blindside Sports. Now, we have a lot to get to in this one with a special guest, and he's been on before. You guys recognize him. But before I get into the show, I just want to say, if you're new, like, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, download, turn on your notifications wherever you are, and share it with your friends. Because look, if you were to send this to your homie, like, hey, these guys are really doing work, I really enjoy it, they're gonna really be like, oh, okay, my friend actually likes it. If I were to do that, okay, I'm just self-advertising. So, hey, word of mouth advertising. But I'm Emmett Douglas, and joining me today is a guy who came on this very show, almost 2 months ago to the date, and had a hot take, and it's I would say gained traction. I mean, it has, but like now people are starting to say what he said 2 months ago. You remember him, you know him, the big vanilla funny, the vanilla sports guru. This is a guy who can, chef it up in the kitchen. He's a mentor. He hosts Unsportsmanlike Conduct with VJ. He's starting his own website with like his VSN sports stuff. It's my guy, VJ Husky. Welcome to the show. Round two, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing blessed, man. First of all, damn, that introduction was so good. I started to look around for somebody else. Like, hold on, he's not talking about me. He must be talking about somebody else. What an intro, my man. Thank you, Lord, man. I appreciate that. What's up, ED? I appreciate you, man. It's good to be
Hey,
back. So thanks for bringing me back, man. But nice, great intro, man. So yeah, let's get to it. What's going on, everybody out there on that side of my man Emmett. So thanks, man.
yeah,
Let's rock.
dude, what's funny is a couple months ago, when we did the show last time, if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Um, it's episode like 18 or 19 on Spotify and or wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube. But I had an intro, and you said that's one of the dopest intros you've ever heard. I gotta ask you, did today's intro pass last time's intro?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it
Oh
did. It
man.
passed. And I pride myself on my intros of my guests because I always tell my fans, I want you to know I'm not bringing on no Johnny come latelys. I'm not bringing on, the people I bring on, I trust. I like their opinions, even if I don't agree with them all. I still like their opinions, their delivery, the way they carry themselves, and what they've done in the business. And that's what any business is about anyway, man. And anytime you're doing this. So I pride myself on that. So when I get an intro like that, I feel good. And yes, you outdid yourself this time, man.
There we go. Now, enough blabbering. So that's gonna come up in the show later because it's me and VJ. I mean, last time we talked about a homeless guy with his pants down on a cross country course, but I post that clip on Insta and TikTok. Go check it
I feel
out.
sorry. I feel sorry for you. I really do, man. Like I hope that man did not traumatize you guys.
He ain't traumatized. Man, that was a good story, and hey, I mean, we all love
Oh
because
my
it was
god.
funny because I mean, I could have gotten hurt on that course, whatever. It could have been a much worse story, but instead I had a homeless guy with his AirPod in with his pants down. So like, hey, it could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
We're still
Yep.
talking about a year later, but now I know we led with LeBron last time I had VJ on, but it seems like LeBron is like that guy who always has the headlines. I'm gonna let VJ lead this one because it's his hot take, and he was the one who said what should be said about LeBron before everyone did. And the point was LeBron, he said on December 30th, 2021, that LeBron James, the Lakers have a LeBron James problem. Basically, they need to move on from him. He's ruining the team. And, nothing really happened with that because, I mean, I don't have like a Cowherd or a Broussard, Rob Parker audience. But 2 months later, on Thursday, February 24th, I got the dates and everything now, pulled it up. Colin Cowherd at the start of his show on the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Go check it out. He said Lakers need to move on from LeBron. 20 minutes later, I get a mention from VJ on Twitter. You can go get him at Husky ENT and get me at EmmettNosey04. And he says now Cowherd saying it, so of course we had to repost the clip. So VJ, give it to me. Your thoughts on LeBron? LeBron James also mentally quit on the Lakers. How do you feel about LeBron James teaming up with Bronny in the future? When do you think he's leaving the Lakers? And is it a trade? Is he going to leave in free agency? Go.
Listen, man. I have to always be as organic as I possibly can whenever I'm doing sports talk. And the other day I vowed, and I'm just letting you know what a friend you are and a colleague you are to me in this industry. I vowed not to talk no more LeBron or Lakers for the rest of the year. I'm done. What I saw against the Pelicans, I've been telling people it's coming. Like this is coming. Like you said, 2 months ago. You can just see it, but you also have to be smart enough to open your eyes and look at the last 16, 17 years. This man has a great career. LeBron James is a great basketball player, one of the top 10 guys I think I probably have ever seen. Now, I don't like rankings. I just say, listen, out of the top 10 guys, because the eras are different, I hate NFL, NBA rankings. Any other sport, I think it's okay. NBA, it's the worst topic is top
Agreed.
10, who's the GOAT? Yeah, it's the...
And I'll say this too about the rankings, VJ. In the 90s and the 80s, this is why I comparing Jordan and Curry and stuff. The game has changed so much. Like I said this about the dunk contest. It's now none of these guys, okay, dunking's cool and all, but they want to be the next Steph Curry, Ray Allen, shooting these deep three balls, working on that crazy shooting form. No one cares about that. So I just think eras change, man, especially in the NBA. And that's when you see, it changes the most in the NBA, like the 90s. There wasn't really a lot of sharpshooters. Now in 2022, March 1st, 2022, there's a bunch of sharpshooters. If you don't have a sharpshooter, you're screwed.
Absolutely. And well, yeah, that's why the Lakers are screwed too. But
we'll get to that. I got to take on that.
Yeah, if you go at a time, if you just go over time and you just look at the track record and people, there's always but you win a championship. Okay, I get it. I really truly do. But there is a mess that's just always left. And that's what I was going by. And that's what I was looking at. I thought this, and back in August or September when I did my NBA preview show, my exact prediction, I said they'll be lucky to win 46 games. And I thought that was their, right I thought that was the high. And I said that in September. It's on wax. Like I said, 46 games. Oh, they're coming out the West. No, they're not. Are you kidding me? They have 6 or 7 one-year deal guys. Those guys aren't locked in. Those dudes aren't chasing the champion. Carmelo's not chasing the championship. I think Carmelo's at the point where he's like, listen, I'm gonna just stat pad and just add on to what I can add on because I'm no championship team is going to sign me. He was in Portland last year. Look what they are now. Look what they are this year. Look what they were last year. You get to the Lakers because LeBron's your boy. So you get to the Lakers this year, but you're on the bad Laker team. You're not even on the first or second LeBron year Laker team or a Kobe Laker team. You're on everybody's 37, 35, 36, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years in the league. This thing's old. And then you bring in Russ, and when that happened, I said it again, dude, why didn't they make the Buddy Hield deal? Like the news
CJ McCollum even.
Yeah. Well, the Buddy Hield deal I just think would have been better because even CJ, you saw Portland move them, and they ain't moving because they don't think he can play. They moved him because they realized, okay, these two guards between him and Dame, we can just get to the first or second round and one conference finals. That's it. We can't get no further with this, so somebody's got to go. So I still think McCullough can play, but they needed a shooter like Buddy Hield, a guy with just no conscience. The deal was on the table. He nixed it. He's nixed things at other teams. And I don't want to even use this as a banging moment because I said I was done talking. But the only reason why I will talk this topic is because you're asking me and I'm on your show. But after this, I'm done with the narcissist. I won't even call him his name anymore. I'm done with the narcissist. And I'm done with the Lakers for the rest of the year. And you know why? Because there's so many other great things to talk about in the NBA. Not to mention hockey, college basketball. Did we see this past weekend? 7 top 10 teams?
Yes, that was wild.
And I loved it because 1 and 2 didn't change. Because it's like, well, you can't really move anybody down or move anybody up. They all lost. So leave it the way it is. Maybe shuffle 2 teams. Let's go to next week. Let's go. Let's get ramped up. Conference tournaments. And I'm a guy. I watch just about at least a game or 2 from every conference tournament. I DVR a lot. So late at night, I'll watch, there's that Sun Belt final. I haven't seen it yet. So when that team gets to the tournament, I can at least say I've seen them. Okay, I don't mean seen them once or twice, but I've seen them. But there's so many other good things going on right now. I don't want to continue talking about the narcissists and the Lakers, but I'll finish it by this because we got a great show and you got great topics. I got great topics. I told you so. That's the bottom line. I told everybody. It's not to say that the guy's not great, but come on, man. Like you just watch him play. And this shamelessness of going for its numbers and big blowout losses and really sprinting for certain points of the game. And then the people at the platform that say, oh, well, he's reserving himself. Or I'm tired. I'm tired of all the excuses. I feel so sorry for Russ Westbrook, a Hall of Famer, being treated the way he's being treated because people in our industry are dogging this man every single moment that they get. And this is a guy who should have never even been traded there. But the narcissist wanted him like he wanted everybody else. He tweeted, keep the same energy about my squad, talking about my squad. I, me, my. It's all, he's always spoke that way. Team is very occasional for him. It's always me, my. It's about me. Think about it, man. They wanted Russ. This season is over because he ran his mouth All-Star Weekend. He had an egotistical narcissist moment with this kind of smirk on his face, not knowing, bro, this isn't the Heat. And honestly, when you tried that with Pat Riley, what did he do? He said, okay, well, if you want to go, go. Bye. Like, seriously, they had to sit there. He wanted them to fire Spoelstra. He looked him right at him and goes, I'm not firing Spoelstra.
Who, man?
Next. Honestly, that's how the conversation. Pat Riley said, he wanted me to fire. We're not firing Spoelstra. Next.
Who does that? I'm sorry. Erik Spoelstra is so good, man.
Because he wanted a coach. He likes coaches. And here, this will go even deeper with the narcissist. I don't even think that he believes that Erik Spoelstra is not a good coach or can't coach. It was just, I need to have my way and say something that I want. That's how narcissists think. So it's not Wade, it's not Bosh. The team was good. They were coming off of going to 2 straight finals, or what? Hold on. 4? Did they go to 4 straight finals? Yeah, they went to 4 straight finals. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was.
They did. They come off of going to 4 straight finals. You got great bench players. You had Birdman. You had Abadier. You got Bosh. You got Wade. Like you got Super Mario Chalmers. Like you got a team. So he couldn't play the player card. Pat Riley's the GM and calling the shots. So you can't say you don't want the GM because that's Pat Riley. The only thing you can look around and go at is, oh, I don't like Erik Spoelstra. And Riley said, nope, next. And he didn't have anything else on the list. There was nothing he could say. So I'll go home. Same thing with Cleveland. And now he tried it down. But if you're going to be a narcissist, just be a narcissist. Don't send Rich Paul to clean up your mess on a little secret meeting with Jeannie on Tuesday. No. He didn't mean that. He should have never let Cleveland come out his mouth. You play for another team, dog. What are you doing even talk? I done told him, listen, I know we're back at Cleveland for All-Star Weekend, but I'm not going to go there with you guys. I'll play for LA. I want championships for LA, blah, blah. No, but he couldn't help himself. He had to have a narcissist moment, and he did. And Jeannie and them, I guarantee you, sat and looked at that and said, are you serious? Shaq never even did that. Kobe never even did that. Magic or Kareem never even did that. And here you are, openly All-Star Weekend, talking about there's a possibility that you could go play. Isn't that kind of like players tampering? Like if the coach can't do it and the GM can't do it and the owner can't say, how can a player say that? But I can't control anything right now. So I can go just run my mouth. And that's what it turned into, man. I'm done with them. They're out of the playoffs. They got to figure it out this offseason. But next year, Russ, $45 million. LeBron, $44 million. AD, $42 million. For those 3 players, and they have none and THT and THT. That's it. They have 5 players on contract for next year. That's it. So what's going to happen? Another bunch of 1 year.
Old people who are out of their prime. And
yeah, honestly, what real game changer is going to look at that situation and go, even if I go in there and I'm one of the top 3 reasons that we win a championship, they're all going to say it's because of him. And he'll suck it all up. He'll never. I told people this about AD, and then I'm done with the topic. Go back to when they won in the AAU Mickey Mouse Bubblegum Championship 2 years ago. Go back to the moment where AD finally has Rachel Nichols there. He finally has his finals moment. He finally is a champion and gets to talk and talk about himself and what it went through and with, coming from Kentucky and coming from New Orleans. And who comes dancing in with the MVP and the NBA championship trophy in the camera view?
LeBron James.
You hear people start to laugh, and then he comes right back in. I swear, everybody, it's not hating. Go look at it. Go look at AD's face the minute that happens. I told Chris Broussard back then, I said, man, he ain't gonna want to stay there. He's gonna get checked out. Kyrie tried to warn us, and because the media is so sucked into the LeBron narrative, now we dislike Kyrie because he was like, man, I'm good. Guess what, guys? Paul George, free agency. He could have went, I'm good. Kawhi Leonard. They tried to get Kawhi. They had to sit down with Kawhi. They sat down with Kawhi. And Kawhi looked at the situation and was like, nah, I'm good. I'll go over here. Yeah, I'll go over here. I'm like, really, I'll go to the Clippers. Think about that, Emmett.
The Clippers.
I'm sitting in the Lakers front office. There's at that point 16 championship trophies around me. The ghost of Chick Hearn, the ghost of Dr. Jerry Buss floating around, the ghosts of old Lakers girls of the past that protect the building or protect the offices. I believe in sports stuff like that, bro. And I'm sitting here and I looking at the guy who's the man here right now. When in the history of somebody ever looked at that on Kawhi's level and said, I'll go not just go play for somebody else. I'll go play for the Clippers. Come on.
The Flippers.
Flippers. So if you go back to that moment with AD, man, you could just see, and then coming off that bubble year, he didn't look the same last year. And then it got worse to the middle of the season. Then he got hurt again towards the end of the season. Then he got hurt in the playoffs. They come back again. He looks worse than he did last year. Like I told people, the minute LeBron danced in the way with the trophies. And here we are. Here we are. Now you're hearing, well, maybe they need to move AD. If I was AD, you made me fire my agent, hire your guy, put up a fit, and force my way out of where I was, even though we were coming off a sweep in Portland the year before as the underseed, and then lost in 6 to the eventual champions, the Golden State Warriors. And you made me do all of that. And now we're here, and I was, the year they won the championship, led the league, led the team, points, AD, rebounds, AD, block shots, AD, first team all defense. LeBron led them in assists. First team all defense. And people thought he should have been defensive player of the year. And now you guys are gonna try to trade me? That shows like he never cared about you. It's just what he can get off of you. And that's just
Winning.
the kind of guy he is. So, and they're done for the year, man. No more Laker talk, no more narcissist talk. There's so many other things in sport. They may not make the playoffs, bro. They may not make the playoffs. I think they did. Tonight, I'll take in Dallas with the 5. I think Luka goes in here and just lights them up. Who's guarding them? Is LeBron going to guard them all game? No. Luka's going to go in there and light them alive tonight. Mark my words.
Yeah, they lost to the Pelicans, and my thing is too with the Lakers and this whole LeBron thing is there's about everyone saying should the Lakers move on from LeBron? There's a difference between should and are gonna, right? So should the Lakers move on from LeBron at this point? There's been so much damage to that franchise. Jeannie Buss walked out of Staples Center after the third quarter on Sunday night with that embarrassing game against the Pelicans. I think LeBron
it was
James
actually still the third quarter. It was like the 3:58 mark.
Yeah.
She didn't wait till the third quarter. She was gone.
She was like, I'm out. I got better things to do. I can go, go do Jeannie Buss things. And that's the thing. And I think there's just this Lakers, the franchise, there's a lot wrong due to LeBron. And look, I get LeBron, it's all me. But what you gotta do?
Warming up for the opera.
Yeah, what you gotta as a front office, man. This is why I said when Aaron Rodgers was like, I want to say, you as the front office, okay, you could try and give the say, but what you gotta do is like, for example, Russell Westbrook, a front office just said, hey, we can't have Russell. Really, if anything, we need a shooter. That Lakers team. Nothing against Russ. I mean, he kind of got set up for a bad situation there. And, I think, when Russ is in a good spot, he, is in a good spot getting triple doubles. He's not doing very much like this season. And it's because of the Lakers, man. And it's because of LeBron. And the thing is, too, is like I said, I think he's a good player. We all know we're talking about. I'm going to try to say it less so you don't get sick during the show. I think
I'm cool, man. Listen, I'm halfway joking about that, but
I was joking too.
I called him. Honestly, I was on with Chris and Rob one night. They had a Wednesday night competition calling thing. They hit me up earlier that day saying, instead of just taking callers, do you want to come on and do this? We'll give you 3 topics. We'll let you give 3 topics.
Oh, the hot seat.
And then, I did the Wednesday night competition. Of course, they always think they win, but I beat them. And funny thing too, sidebar, neither one of them thought that Outback Kookaburra wings were good, and neither one of them have had them because Rob's a big wing guy. He always bets wings on everything. And I told him I would that Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop are both overrated, and lemon pepper and garlic parmesan are overrated. Rob went off. He lost his damn mind. What? Garlic parmesan, vegan? I'm like, no, not with all the oil that's left in the bottom of them damn things. You got to go to Outback and get some wings. But that night when we were on, it was actually right after Kobe's funeral. And this will sound like hater stuff too, but it's just the truth. I really dislike the way that he found some way to make the narrative about him on Kobe's funeral by wearing a hoodie or supposedly kind of sneaking in quietly and things. I'm not, and with the pushback, especially Chris like, I mean, come on, VJ, you can't tell people how to sell, how to more. I said, I'm not saying that, but have you ever in your life seen a big time celebrity funeral and one of the most known, probably the most popular person at that time slid and snuck in? Because at one point people started to say, what? Where's who? Where's who? LeBron. Where's who? Nobody should be asking that at Kobe Bryant's funeral.
Yeah.
Nobody should be asking that at Kobe Bryant's funeral. I had a problem with that. Seriously, I had a major, come on, man. Come on, Stan. You want to be seen any other time. You make sure you're seen any other time. But that day, and I hated the fact that we started asking that. Just go back. I was on Twitter and I'm like, and I didn't think about it because I'm so hurt. So it's Kobe Bryant's funeral, right? And I'm scrolling and I started to see, where's LeBron? And it made me go, oh, damn, I haven't seen him. And then it's like, are you serious? I immediately knew. I said, oh, God, man. See, this is why I don't like this guy. Call it what you want to call it. But don't tell me you show up to Kobe's funeral and this hoodie over your head, or whenever I guess they saw him, he was slumped down in the seat, almost like he was trying to hide, so people would say, that was the last straw. That was the last straw with me. And I said that on that Wednesday night thing. They both go, I don't think, come on, VJ.
Even Rob? Even Rob?
Narcissist. Come on, LeBron. You know how much he did. Okay. Oh God, here we go. My
guy CB is still defending LeBron, and our guy Rob Guerra at the producer RG on Twitter. He'll be on the show Friday. He comes on Twitter, and he brought up a point that Laker. My guy Ben Maller, the overnight guy on Fox. He's a Clippers guy, and he. Yeah, I try. I'm sorry, Ben, but yeah, I try. Former guest on the show, but
I like Ben.
Yeah, but he calls them Laker apologists, and some of Ben's takes are ludicrous about the Lakers. I will say, but the some of them, Rob G is what we call a Lakers apologist. You're fighting with Bo Benson on Twitter. Bo Benson, love you, bro. You're gonna be on the pod soon. You're a Laker apologist. And even Rob Guerra, the producer RG, said,
tell him, Emmett, give it to him, Emmett.
He even said that LeBron James has mentally quit on the Lakers in the past 2 out of the 4 seasons. When Rob G says something like that, Rob, you're my guy, but that's when man, this is some legit thing. And the thing is with LeBron too is I think the front office is like I said, that it's their job. Hey, for example, I'll be LBJ and I'll act as a front office. Hey, I think we should go after Russell Westbrook. If that were me in the front office, I'd be like, LeBron, me as Pelinka, me as Bus, people up, the execs, the GMs, I'd be like, LeBron, nah, Russ wouldn't be a good fit for this team. We got to value winning. But then you're put in a predicament with LeBron, and he just goes somewhere. It's like he's doing the ultimate finesse. But enough LeBron James talk. I'll let VJ have his
master manipulator. And I was ahead. If you go to the Skip Bayless podcast, dude, I wanted to retweet that so bad last night, but you don't always have to take a victory lap on everything. You just have to know how good you are. Yesterday I tweeted, you're not in competition with anybody but yourself. You're not in competition with anybody. You have to beat you day after day after day after day to get better. So I'm learning in this industry, I don't have to take every victory lap, but I've been calling him a manipulator for like 4 or 5 years. And Skip, and go back and watch it. It's on Twitter. Skip Bayless had a heartfelt pound the table. He's in the studio by himself. It's actually pretty cool. I like Skip. I know a lot of people don't. I love the guy because I'm a sports journalist. I'm a sports broadcast journalist. I know
A
his career.
journalist.
I know his history. Everybody says some stupid. Everybody thinks that there's not a person out here who everybody thinks what they say sports wise is all right or all wrong. We all have people who don't like us. We all have people who don't like our opinions, but we all have people who love, appreciate us, and listen and watch us. So it goes all around. But to watch him do that the other day, he is now the master manipulator. Is what he is. I've been saying that for like 5. I'm like, dude, all he does is come in and manipulate. And the way I drew that conclusion was, you ever notice how he's everybody's friend? You know, like every celebrity, like every other athlete. It's like, bro, everybody's not your bro. Okay, everybody's not because you love Johnny Manziel, and as soon as Johnny Manziel cut it in Cleveland, you definitely stopped following him. And like, so he really wasn't your boy like that. Like I don't.
If that's your boy. You're boys for life, man.
He's your boy for life, exactly. Not because he hot for the minute, and he kind of goes the way the wind blows. And he's learned now that he's so powerful, he can manipulate situations. And I'll say this on your comment about going to the front office and being put in a predicament. You're so right, man. Perfectly stated, very eloquently stated. Great job by you, because that's how foolish the media and sports broadcast world has been, that you've made this man so powerful that even the Lakers might have to bow down to him. And they did, because the Buddy Hield deal was on the table. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Dude, you didn't have to give up.
He said no.
Compared to Westbrook, if you trade in Westbrook and Hield, I don't remember the exact details of the Hield trade, but you wouldn't have to give up nearly as much to grab Buddy Hield too.
No. Not at all. And Buddy Hield wouldn't command $46 million next year. And Buddy Hield would be a player you would be forcibly trying to trade at the deadline and most likely over this summer. It was just a better deal on the table. But he wanted a superstar name because he saw. Listen, this even goes back to Giannis's post game. Giannis, in my opinion, was talking to certain players where he said, I could have went to super team. I could have went to another team and, just did my part to win 2 championships. No, I want to do it myself. I want to work hard. I sat right on the sofa. I goes, wow, that sounds like he's talking to somebody. Like, he was feeling himself. After championships, guys talk shit. That's just what they do, and that was his moment.
Oh, yeah.
To pretty much go, hey, I could have done what such and such is doing, or such and such. I got 2 MVPs. I won a championship for a city that haven't won one over 50 years, right? I am finals MVP. They said I couldn't hit my free throws. Well, look what I did. Last 2 games tonight, the 17 of 19. So I hit my free throw. I mean, he was talking that ish right there. Basically the FU stuff. But I believe there was certain people. And then right after that, you just started seeing all these big names. So the Westbrook thing, man, it was a bigger name than Buddy Hield. But you're right. Buddy Hield would have been a better deal. And you're so right. I mean, God, man, he does have the Lakers kind of crumbled down. I don't think they're on their knees, but I think they're got one knee almost touching the mat, like in wrestling when they lock up at top and they fight down and one guy goes back. I think they almost got one knee down.
Yeah, and I think we got to go away from the LeBron James talk because we have a lot more to talk about on the show tonight. And God, we spent a long time talking about LeBron, but hey, we gotta that was my first VJ's my first guy had the craziest hot take explode. But now I want to dive into something here that the NFC West quarterbacks, Emmett VJ with you, episode 31. Follow me on Twitter, EmmettNoC04, and VJ. You can get him at Husky Ent, E-N-T. Husky, Huskey. Go check out his work. You can search Unsportsmanlike Conduct wherever you get your podcast. VSN Sports on YouTube. Go show him some love. All right. Now the next thing I want to get to is the theme of NFC West. Now we're gonna start with Kyler Murray because it's a bigger story right now. But Kyler Murray, this started like the week of the Super Bowl, right? And he basically was like, he decided to scrap everything from the social media that mentioned the Cardinals. Twitter and the gram, he went through, did a clean sweep, right? I'm gonna give a shout out to something. I believe it was George Reister who said an hour after Kyler wants a big contract, and I went with that on this show. Record an episode the night that this all happened. Right, 3 weeks later, early Monday morning, Schefter drops the official statement from his agent, and Kyler's agent. It's a long statement, basically saying, given the demands that like what Kyler Murray and the Cardinals want, I'm gonna go first on this one. And the question I'm gonna pose, VJ, is does Kyler Murray deserve the contract? Look. Do I think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback right now? I can agree. Has he had some bad moments? But he's young, right? And do I think he should get that pay eventually in a year or two? Yes. The thing is with Kyler, and I said this on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, is, his first year was so-so, right? Rookie year, all right, cool. Second year, first half, good, right? I was like, wow, this Kyler Murray kid, that guy can ball. That's the first half. Second half, gets injured, his productivity goes down. Third season, which is the most recent NFL season, kind of same thing happens. But the Cardinals, they did so good the first half, and they're able to kind of keep it together the second half that they made the playoffs, right? We're not going to talk about his performance. It was kind of embarrassing as they, I'll say this though, at least Kyler Murray lost to the Super Bowl champions. All right, I'll give him that. But the thing is, man, is when you want the big dollars that Kyler Murray wants, when you want that, to happen, I just don't see how you as the Cardinals can give out that money. But what I will say is this. I don't even blame Kyler Murray for asking, because quarterbacks get paid, and now like everything's money in this league, right? Like, and I just think that Kyler, for me, I'd have to have him, stay healthy a full year and kind of prove to me more. And, a lot of people rip him for the playoffs. I did as well, but we do have to realize that was his first playoff game against the Super Bowl champions. If they got bounced second round, like it looked like they were about to Tom Brady, then yeah, okay. But, now speaking, I mean, he did play against the Rams and they ate him up, and he did, say what I'll say about Murray, but I'm just not buying a way to pay him, right? It's kind of like you're going on like a review, and you're like, you hire someone, and it's kind of like a manipulative situation. And you're like, all right, it's like, I'll give, this is probably a horrible analogy, but I like analogies. Say, you go on a website for babysitters, right? You hire babysitters, right? And you're like, okay, we want ourselves a current babysitter that can, watch my kids a couple times a week. And, the reviews seem good. You see something about, a couple slip-ups, but a couple slip-ups happen, right? You have them hired for, say, like 3 months, right? The first month and a half is great. You're like, oh, this guy's doing great, helping my kids. And then you start to see that lack of productivity. Maybe something happened in the dude's personal life. I don't know, but the lack of productivity is there, right? And that's kind of what's like for Kyler Murray. But for Kyler Murray, it's that injury. Big money is a lot, especially for the Cardinals, because they have a bright future in one of the hardest divisions in the NFL. As a Seahawks fan, I could say that division is cuckoo, right? All of these teams, the Seahawks are the furthest away from doing something, but all these teams have chances of pulling something. Obviously, the Rams won it this year. So if I am Arizona, I'm going to try and negotiate with Kyler, hey, one more year, right? I just don't think he's earned it, and I think he could earn it. I just don't want to pay for a guy, give him the big dollars, where I'm not getting him a full season. Okay, 1 or 2 games, whatever. But and also I will say he is a running quarterback, but still, I just think give me one more year, try and stay healthy for the full year, and then I'll fold.
All right. You said a mouthful there, man. Okay, so I'll start with this. I'm never on the side of deserve. I don't like that word in sports when it comes to contracts, because that's not how the NFL goes. The NFL goes by next man up, and it's just always been that way. People don't like it, stop paying the next guy, but it's never going to stop. It's just the way it is. Doesn't matter if you don't have any playoff wins. Doesn't matter what of course, if your record was bad, then your team wouldn't be good, and you probably wouldn't be there. So, of course, you're not Sam Darnold's not getting a big ass extension, even though he was a top 10 pick quarterback. You know what I'm saying? but Kyler Murray was a
Josh
first-round
Rosen.
quarterback.
Ha.
He is exactly. He's a first. I mean, Josh Allen. Man, look at the money that these guys are getting. Pat Mahomes. You have to produce, okay? But those guys, like they won, like Mahomes. He won so young. It was about time for his contract to come around anyway. But because he won the biggest single game in all of sports, maybe other than the World Cup final, he won the biggest game in all of sports so young. By the time his contract extension came up, he was able to push it a lot further than it had been from guy to guy to guy to guy with like what? Let's just say the last 5 to 7 quarterbacks, right? Every new contract, they're the new highest paid quarterback in NFL history. That's what people don't like the label of being. But if I'm up next, I'm up next. Goff was up. Garoppolo was up. Cam Newton at one point was up. Mike Vick was up twice. Mike Vick got 2 $100 million extensions in his career. And Matt Ryan, like it's his turn. And now we're waiting on Lamar. Lamar wants an extension. Do you not listen? I'm done with this rookie deal. I've won playoff games. You guys, I'm your best player in your franchise. I'm the best player in your franchise. I want an MVP. It's time to pay me now. Same with Dak. Do I think Dak deserved $40 million? Probably not, but he was up next. And they were talking 32, 33, 35. He's like, no, 40. You're going to pay me. And think about it. Since when have you ever seen that star quarterback not get that money? Like Aaron Rodgers, this story that come out from 2 very reputable football journalists, sports journalists, guys that I believe and trust, and what they put out when they put it out, wants $50 million a year. Someone, I don't know if he's going to get it, but it's more yeah than no. Somebody's going to give it to him, because if you want him and he's coming back, that's just, I mean, he's going to come back and play for a different team. You got to pay him the money, or he's not going to come out on the field and play. So with Kyler Murray, I don't like the word deserve. It's just he's up, Emmett, and you have to pay the guy. They're getting better, but also let's revisit this getting better. Things have gone south, but they've also had some injuries that help those things go south. In his second year, his offensive line fell apart the second half of the season. So he was running for his life, and he didn't have time to throw the ball. Just look at DeAndre Hopkins' number. Speaking of D-Hop, who missed most of this year, who some people consider is the best receiver other than probably Devontae Adams in the league, right? Cooper Kupp had a transcending type year, but I wouldn't call Cooper Kupp the best receiver in the year. He just had a very great transcendent historical season. It happens in sports. You know what I'm saying? Chris Johnson, CJ2K. We see him run for 2,000 having a historical season. I probably would put him in my top 20 running backs of all time. So you can have that one year, but when you're the best guy in the game like D-Hop is, and he misses that, they had issues at the running back position. How many games did Connor miss this year? They've had some issues there on the offense that has helped to that offense not be able to move the ball and kind of go down towards the middle to the end of the year. So both the last 2-3 years, they made the playoffs this year, so that is a step forward. But why have an unhappy quarterback? Why have a disgruntled quarterback who happens to have the same agent as the head coach Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah,
get him paid. Go like this happens every year. Pay him what's next. Pay him what's next. The next 2 years is probably going to be guaranteed, and then that third year he'll probably have the team option, and the fourth year will be his option. But that guaranteed money, it's got to probably be in the neighborhood of like 1 to 110, 115 guaranteed of like a 130, 140, $50 million contract. That's kind of what I'm thinking it'll probably end up being.
Yeah, I hear you on what you're saying. I mean, you are quite right that it is, the next guy up, and it is your star quarterback. But what I'm saying is that's a lot of money. And, this year, all right, all I'm saying is give it 1 year. I'm not saying the dude shouldn't be. I'm not saying he shouldn't get that money. I just say before you go out and it's pay this huge investment, why not give it another year? Try and negotiate with him. Maybe, do whatever, but his contract's not even up. He's on.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. If you do that and he has this blowout year, you're going to end up paying more, because if Lamar signs his deal, and if there's another quarterback like Herbert, honestly, he puts up another season like he just did, he's going to want an extension next year, guaranteed. So now you're battling the Jackson contract, and possibly if the Chargers get Herbert done before you get your guy done,
So now you're battling even more. You're probably paying 10 to 12 more a year than you would have, because that's what happened with Dallas. If Dallas had gave Dak the contract when he first asked for it, a year and a half to 2 years prior to that, they only would have had to probably pay him about maybe 28 to 29 million a season. Instead, they waited, gave money to Zeke, gave money to Martin, and gave money to a defensive player, and then they had to pay him 40 million. And guess how many playoff wins you still have to show for it? Zero. So, yeah. And 11 million, don't think 11 million, dude. You could cut 3 players and save 11 million in cap space. So that's a lot of money. I'm saying it because that's a lot of money. It's not like, oh, it was only 11 million. No. Dude, you could cut 3 guys. You got 3 guys and save 11 million. That's a lot of money when you're talking NFL cap. So, yeah, that's why I say you have to pay.
Yeah, and it's just I just have to question stuff, man. And with this, and I do think he is gonna probably produce more than because every year with Kyler, it does, like, that first half is impressive, and then injury to him happened, and it wasn't the best luck for the Cardinals, but yeah. Now
if I can ask you a quick question, what do you think they need to get better? If you were there, if you were a fan, and you were like, man, I want the Cardinals take care of this Kyler stuff, but we need a such and such or such and such. What would you add to that team?
That's a good question. I think that receiving core is really good. That you got Moore. Is that Rondale Moore?
Rondale Moore from Purdue. Yep.
Christian Kirk. Yep. D-Hop.
Yep.
You got James Conner, who he's still he's there. If you could get a better running back, why not? I mean, for Kyler Murray's play style, right? I'll be real, like, their lines, it's good, but when you have a quarterback like Kyler Murray, I feel like you have, for him to be capped out at his max success, right?
Yeah.
You got to do your part to get as close to, or if not, the best offensive line you can, because look, he's still going to perform well, but can you imagine Kyler Murray with the best line in the league?
You want to? I don't like hot takes. I don't like takes. I call them out on the limb opinions
But can you imagine? No, just imagine Kyler Murray with, like.
I got a better one for you. One for you.
Hit me,
dude. The reason why I asked that question, because I think they need a different running back. Connor was banged up too much.
That's what I did allude to that. I did say
I agree with you. I would probably go running back, but here's a scenario that if you've heard it somewhere, let me know. I haven't, but I was thinking about this the other day. If the Giants say, you know what, we're going to move on from Saquon Barkley, which I think they probably should. And I called that coming out of Penn State. I said, he's Kajana Carter, guys. Trust me. He had a blowout rookie year, and everybody goes, oh, look. I said, yeah, go back and look at Kajana Carter's rookie year for the Bengals, and then look what happened after that when he got hurt. But I think sometimes with injury, you need a change of scenery. And, they're talking about possibly bringing Trubisky down there with Dable. And, okay, so then your Daniel Jones is going to be done. You might need to reset a lot of that. And I think that if they were to say, you know what, we're going to cut him. He's still on his rookie deal. He hasn't made big money yet. We're going to cut him. But if there was a team that would say, you know what, we'll take a look at that. Maybe a 2-year show me type deal or a 1-year show me deal. And for him to get out of his head of his injury and get back to possibly being that rookie Saquon, Arizona would be a perfect fit. Could you imagine RPO with him and Kyler Murray?
Oh.
And then those receivers that he can pull out and throw the slant to, or throw the quick out to, or pump fake and bootleg the reverse way and throw on a flag pattern. It's the offense, and you got Kingsbury. So the offense there, I think I would go quarterback. So that's your division. You're a big Seahawks guy. I just wanted to know if you were a fan and you wanted to do something with it. What would you do?
You mean running back, right? You said quarterback.
Yep, running back. Yep, I think their defense is great. I love their defense.
I'm with you, man.
I thought JJ Watt was a bad signing, but I don't like veterans with just names. It just rarely works out. I couldn't think of maybe you got a guy, the last defensive star who was late in their career, signed with a contender, and it worked out and looked great. Can you think of a defensive star late in his career that's every time that happens, it just doesn't work out? You're old. You know what I'm saying? You've been injured. You've had surgeries. You
could say Von Miller, but that was a midseason trade.
Yeah, that was a midseason trade. Yeah. Remember, Von missed like 15 games last year. He missed most of all last year because he's coming back off of an injury. Before that, he was still a 12, 13 sack guy.
Yeah, JJ Watt, that guy, he's been injured since he started.
Yeah.
And I will pose this too as a Seahawks guy.
Okay.
Chris Carson is in the same kind of situation as Saquon, where when Chris Carson's there, he's good. But kind of like Saquon, I can't trust him to stay healthy. And, just we saw Rashad Penny last year. If he could stay healthy, I say we get another guy. But if, the price is right, maybe flip Carson to the Cardinals, see what he can do there. And then if you can somehow keep Connor, it would just be cool to see kind of same situation because Carson and Barkley have both had injury riddled careers.
Well, I know Carson personally up close and personal because he's at Michigan before he transferred from there. So you're right. When they're there, they're good. But the best ability in life, not just sports, in life, the best ability is availability. You just gotta be there. You just gotta be there. I learned that as a dad. You just gotta be there. Honestly. Then there's a lot of stuff that comes with it, but for the most part, you just gotta be there. So neither one of those guys. I mean, like you said, with Chris, he's just not healthy. He's just not there. It's
the same thing with Saquon.
You get really spoiled with beast mode, man. You get really spoiled. It also shows you too. And
dude, Chris was so good. Oh, when he was there, he was good.
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Yeah, and look at Rashad Penny now, and that's kind of the same thing. We saw Rashad Penny last 4 weeks. I said this on my podcast. I said this to people on Twitter. I think I tweeted about this. So it was where do you want to see Rojo? And I said, what I do is move on from Carson, keep Penny, and then have Rojo, right, for a 1-year deal. If we could trust Rojo, or if we could trust Penny to stay healthy, then we don't bring back Rojo. I'm just not buying that Penny can stay healthy for a full year. The guy's glass, and it's the same thing with Chris Carson. And Penny, to me, was better in the I know it was 4 games. I know it was short, but Penny was better to me than Carson was. But it took him a lot longer to come out and be a good running back.
You probably won't like this because you're a Seahawk fan. I thought a year ago I would have started to break it up and redo the team. But Pete Carroll's in the 70s. I'm not sure if you want to go ahead and slide in Ken Norton Jr. is your next head coach. He's been there with them since SC. There's your head coach. I wanted him on some other team. I thought he should have got more interviews. I think it's about time. He's been a defensive coordinator, defensive coach, assistant coach, linebackers coach. Like he's.
Well, they did fire him. They did say.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I would just. I'm surprised he just didn't get some opportunities. And I think Carroll. He's on the downhill. And the whole Sierra Wilson thing. I'm sorry, not Sierra. Russ, that's his name. Yeah, she's the wife, but he acts like her. But he acts like her. I think when all that started last year, the front office should have really looked and said, okay, this is not trending in the right. Like in the NFL, I don't believe in holding on. I don't care if the Miami Dolphins have to reset every 3 or 4 years, because eventually, like every franchise other than Cleveland and Detroit, they'll get it. Even we've seen the Jaguars, who've only been in the NFL since 1994, playing 2 conference championship games in our lifetime. Okay.
Yep.
I've never seen the Lions or the Browns. I've seen the Browns. I'm old enough to remember the Browns in the 80s and the early 90s. I've never seen the Lions.
They were close last year, and then
But so everybody's gonna get a shot to get good sooner or later, because that's just the way parity in the NFL work out. So, but I don't like holding on, and I feel like the Seahawks are holding on, and it's only going to hurt them down the line. You saw how fast the Legion of Boom went away. I mean, it was 3 or 4 years, man, of just dominating secondary play, and then Cam Chancellor hurts his neck. Browner leaves and goes to New England. Earl Thomas gets hurt. Then it starts to show that Richard Sherman wasn't really that great of a corner that he thought he was. It's like, no, you play with a great front 7, and then you play with 3 other like all-world type defensive backs. You don't even follow the receiver across the field. You play one side. It's a zone. It's a Pete Carroll zone. Everything in front of you defense. So you can go get interceptions because you see the ball every time. It's not often that you're going to get beat. So I thought Seattle should have started to try to redo it like a year or 2 ago. And I think now, if you have to trade Russ, it's just going to put the team in a bad predicament, man. Now you got to find a quarterback because you don't have a backup that you really trust, but you still got good, receivers. I'm not a big Metcalf fan. I think he's kind of a one-trick pony. and he's a diva really fast. That's really fast to become a diva in the NFL receiver. Big body. He reminds me of T.O. He reminds me of a young T.O. off and on the field. So I feel what you're saying about Penny and running backs and stuff, but I thought Seattle should have started to reset it. And this whole Russ thing, like I guess today there was a quote that came out where I love it here. I want to be. I don't like that.
Bro, okay. Can I please take this one away? Sure. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what you said first.
It's your team. There you go. Go ahead.
I said this on Twitter. I think, to me, if I could find that next Pete Carroll replacement, I want him gone. He's gonna retire on you soon. He's old, right? Yep. If you younger coaches are the way. We know that. Yep. The past like couple good head coaches are young. Why not say bye to Pete? And if we're talking, I like Russ as a player, and I'm just starting to get. I used to like really be a Russ fan. I'm a fan of his work on the football field, right? I'll say that. He talk about manipulation, right? This is. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this from my Seahawks fan friends. I don't care. This is starting to turn into a minute. Okay, Russell Wilson, delete some of the Seahawks stuff off, the gram, right, and Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Didn't scrap off, but some of it was gone, right? He has even had the Seahawks in his Twitter bio. That's what I was looking for while you were talking. I believe he used to. And he also, then he'll come on and say, oh, I love it here. Pete Carroll, man, it's so good. And it's just like, dude, make up your mind. Me as a Seahawks fan, I'd rather you be like, I'm unhappy than doing this, dancing around thing. And it's just like, come on, man. Part of this too, I will say.
He's a diva, man. He's a diva. He's married to a former hip hop R&B, mogul type chick, man. He's a diva, dude. I've heard people say, and I'll throw it right back to you, but I've heard people say, man, that he's fake. People in the end, like journalists in the end, people that have been around and say he's fake. He knows when the camera's on. He's very crisp polish. He's very crisp. And if you remember, within that locker room, dude, there were people who didn't like him. I know Percy Harvin's camp, and I was very close with that situation that broke off in the locker room. And Russ had something to do with that, but they always covered it and never used his name in it. And I'm not at the position to throw stuff like that out there, but we all know that something happened with Percy Harvin and the locker room and between Russ and between Richard Sherman and yada. And who was the guy that was cut and shipped off?
Golden Tate. And Golden Tate. Oh, Golden Tate cheated on Russ's ex-wife, right? Is that something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Man, yeah, the chick with the big open mouth smile the day he got drafted.
Yeah, and about Russ too is I do think like it is a camera thing, and it's just Russ, he's a goody, and when he goes to he's not gonna he's not gonna be like LeBron, where he's gonna just pull LeBron and just mope the circumstances weren't there for the Seahawks. I will say he got hurt, but it's just like Russ, be real if you want to stay. And there a lot of these signs too. I will say our point. Some of it's just the media. The media, like Aaron Rodgers, we could say that's the media, like that. The media overreacts to things, and at first I was like, all right, this is weird. When he called out his O-line on the Dan Patrick show, I was like, all right, that's weird. And then I think he realized that, hey, nothing's gonna happen. He's like, I'll give it one more year, and now the line got worse. So he's just like, whatever. He calls out. Now he's just doing his thing where he's just fed up. It's just like, dude, the Seahawks, just make up your mind. And if the whole thing where too, I don't know if you remember this, but didn't his agent name these teams? It was the Raiders,
last
Broncos,
year, five teams.
Your VJ's Dolphins, and then he's like Saints.
No. Yeah, I didn't want him there. I definitely 100% did not want him there.
Arnie Spanier, I think, said that too. And
I don't want him in.
But Arnie changes his opinion every 2 weeks. But
of course he does. Arnie's my guy, man, because he let me take the show over when I did the show with him when I filled in for Aaron Torres. Honestly, I think he was tired. I think it was a long weekend for me. He's like, what, it's my first time working with you, man. I'm gonna let you rock tonight, man. I'm gonna let you in my head. I'm like, hey, cool. And I did. because it was the night of the Wilder. It was Wilder Fury 2. It was that night because we had it on in the studio.
So yeah, and I just like, and then Russell's like, oh, this didn't he? I could be wrong because there's so much. Like I said, a lot of this could be the media and just Russ hitting his wife. That whole situation. But didn't he say that like, oh, I never said that. I never said those teams. Was that just?
No, he put it out. Yeah, he put it out.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm getting really mixed vibes, and we had a topic about Russ, and we didn't have to like transition. It just came up, and it's just I honestly, if you want me to be 100% honest with you, I couldn't tell you what's gonna happen with the Seahawks. I think Russ is I like what Russ does on the field. It's just his antics, his personality. It's just like I couldn't tell you what's gonna happen because guarantee in a couple months. What I will say is I wouldn't be shocked if he did everything's cool here, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's a guy that knows,
and he's a goody. So,
yeah, but he's not a. See, that's the thing is, I had to learn in my life, Emmett, to be who you are, man. Because at the end of the day, he's not. Yeah, it's like I said, when the camera's on and stuff, and he's living this. He has to live this kind of lifestyle because he's married to a former R&B pop queen star and shit, and she still definitely wants the spotlight. Like I didn't like all the. I know she's got a kid by Future, and then bringing him to training.
Oh, did you hear about? I gotta say this. Did you hear? I listen to rap. I know you mess with it too. Future was at a part. Drake invited Russ and Sierra to a party, and Future was there, and like they had to leave, and it's just like I just gotta say. Drake, Future, they made future. I feel like they're gonna be at a party. I feel like Future is gonna be at Drake's party. So I mean, come on.
yeah. I try to stay away from that part of sports gossip and shit, man. That's why it's because funny, I know it is funny. It's like I love Kanye, but I got tired of watching these videos of him trying to drive around to find his daughter's birthday party and stuff. It's like, man, keep that stuff private, man. Bro. Like, for real. I get it. I do. But when you're in the line, you have to keep yourself relevant. And social media is powerful.
Yeah,
social
that's what I'm saying.
Has made people poor. Social media has made people rich. So it does.
Social media has ruined people's lives. It's done all of that. And it's tremendous.
It's made some people's lives better.
Yeah, and I tell Rob Parker this all the time on The Odd Couple. I don't know, so Rob's old, so I don't know if he understands, but
of course he's old. He watches Golden Girls every night. He say he watches an episode a night.
It's kind of they do their TV theme Thursday. Whenever it could be our guy Tysh, the vegan, it could be Iowa Sam, whoever, Don. They always play the Golden Girls for Rob. I'm like, God, this guy's. Time. Yeah.
Did you hear the episode where he actually taught Chris, or Chris thought it was a good idea that they actually would sing the whole song?
Yes. Yeah. And So enough for a part. But I always tell him on The Odd Couple, look, do I think people should go private with this stuff? Like maybe Russ goes in and says, hey man, we need better offensive line. Yes. But are people gonna do that? Where's my buzzer? I think I actually had Tyshirt play the buzzer. No. And yeah, it's just not going to happen. And, like I said, a lot of this stuff with Russell, I think it's the mix of, pop star wife and the media and him being him. There's a bunch of things that play into this whole situation, but we got a lot more to talk about. VJ, Emmett Douglas, VJ, the vanilla one, Husky in the building. Yes. Why don't we dive into something that you brought up? And I actually think we're gonna agree on this one, because the Warriors, man, I know they just absolutely choked and gagged against Dallas. I was watching that game, BJ, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Oh, my guys Covino and Rich are on. Why not listen to them? And then I hear Covino and Rich say, oh, Dallas is coming back. I'm like, what? The Warriors just, it was bad. Luka lit them up. And
they're choking right now. They're down 113-94. They're threatening my under on the 237. They better not score no more points, but they're getting beat by almost 20 on the road at Minnesota tonight right now. So it looks like back-to-back losses for the G State Warriors.
I think our opinion's gonna change because I know you're
mine won't, but go ahead.
No. But so no, I was kind of trolling there. But the thing is obviously Chris Paul is gonna be out 6 to 8 weeks. Your boy, just kidding, that was a joke. And
I love him. I
yeah.
love him like I love the narcissist.
But the question that you posed to me in the notes, I'm gonna let you go first since you posed this one. Do you think do you think the Warriors can catch the Suns? Go.
Well, I got a few bets that they do, so I gotta say yeah. But look, I think they need Draymond back, and I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm happy that he's hurt, like I'm happy he's hurt, but I am happy that they had to go through this because for a long time, man, people who didn't like the Warriors and don't like Steph, they try not to like everything else around him. And Draymond's been one of those guys. Oh, he wouldn't be nothing on another team, or he couldn't lead a team, or it's like everybody's not meant to lead a team, but he's the best defender in the league right now. He defends everybody, and he's a great offensive distributor. He's averaging like 8-9 assists. Like he was getting it
and like 8-9 boards.
Yeah, exactly. Like almost a
like
triple
10
double.
points.
Almost averaging a low ass triple double, but it would have still been a triple double. Like it would have been like if Robin did it, we'd been like, oh my god, and Robin's the best. He's the greatest rebounder I ever saw. He had like 7 rebound titles, six or 7. But they're missing Draymond. Clay, Mama calling Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay's got to still get going. But Steve Kerr still has done such a tremendous job with this team for the last 3 years. He's really just had Steph. And Draymond's now missed a lot of time last year and this year. And Steph missed almost half the season the year before.
Yeah, so, the COVID year, he had the broken hand.
The COVID year, he broke his hand. So it's been a season for them, man, that Steph has really held this together, and the coaching job that Steve Kerr has done with
look at Andrew Wiggins, all-star starter.
Dude, not just Wiggins. Think about they've been taking
Jordan Poole.
shots, and if it doesn't work, they move on. They had D'Angelo. It didn't work. They moved on. They brought in Kelly Oubre. What's the kid from Phoenix?
Oubre, the handsome guys everyone says on Twitter.
They bring him in, don't work. Move him on. They're gonna move that pick. They're gonna trade that pick. No, they're gonna take the young best second player in the draft, who they think is Weissman. Bring him in. He hasn't even played this year yet.
He's in the G League. Didn't they call him up?
They're still I think they pulled him up because he was scheduled. No, he might still be down there, but I know he was scheduled for 5-on-5 contact like 2 weeks ago. So he's coming back. But that's why I say my opinion doesn't change. In the NBA season, man, when you're great and you're missing players some nights, you just have nights. You just have string of games. Listen, they're beating Dallas's ass. They just fall apart. Tonight, it looks like they just kind of got wire to wire. They just got taken wire to wire. And they still may be feeling some remnants off of what did happen to them Sunday against Dallas. So Dallas at the Lakers tonight, I took that 5.5, that 5 points. But my opinion doesn't change about them. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll catch Phoenix. Like I said, I got bets out there that they do. But if I'm being honest, no, I don't think so. Even with Chris Paul gone, Phoenix will have to fall apart because Golden State can't lose games like this. Like they just had it down to 4 games. And in 3 days, it's right back up to 7. Because if they lose, then they're losing tonight. It's already at 6, so now it goes back up to 7. So they're at a bigger deficit than they were before Chris Paul got hurt. When Chris Paul got hurt, 6.5. You've added a half a game to that with just like what 22, 23, 21, something like that games left in the season. So my bet said that they will, because I don't want to lose that money. I want to look right, but my basketball mind and heart says they'll pull within 3, and I think that's the closest they get. Yep.
Yeah, I put this on Twitter too. I said, watch, look at the Suns when they had, I obviously can't watch the game because then it would, pick, because I'm blind, it would pick up in the episode, but can't really. But the Suns, man, they lost back to back for only the 3rd time this year, and that was without Chris Paul. I'd say I know you don't like him. We don't gotta get into that, but what Chris Paul, he was grabbing me like 14 and points out there, but I think it was for me like more as the assist and like the leader, getting doing his thing, just distributing, kind of like Draymond. And I think too with the Warriors, I'm a big Steph Curry fan. I'm a big Clay fan. I'm starting to really like Jonathan Kuminga too, and I think you bring those points up. I think you are right, but I think the Warriors are gonna go. They're gonna have their moments, and the thing is too, the Suns, they've lost back to back. So like, but I could see a couple of these teams having a little bad part here. And the Warriors always, like you said it perfectly, and I can't disagree. The Warriors always find someone new, right?
Yeah.
D'Lo didn't work. All right, cool. Oubre didn't work. All right, cool. Now look at him. Curry is balling. You got Clay coming back, and he's still putting up 17, but he's not like 100% Clay. Yeah. Jordan Poole grabbing you 16 points a game. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins 17 made the All-Star game. Did his probably one of his better career years. You got Jonathan Kuminga, who's starting to emerge in February.
A rookie.
Yep. Jonathan Kuminga. And then Kuminga averaged what? I think I retweeted this 15 in February alone. He's his season stats aren't that impressive, but in February he's kind of exploded. And I think the Warriors always find someone new. I really like what the Warriors do. I like what Steve Kerr does. I love Curry's style. I know a lot, old heads kind of rip what Curry does, but I like the style, man. And it's not that the Suns are a bad team. It's just without Chris Paul, like that game against the Jazz, like they were just outplayed because they didn't have like that Chris Paul, dropping dimes. And that in the later season that could happen. But the thing is with NBA predictions, you might disagree with me on this. Is this NBA is so hard to kind of to get your head around because it's just so random what could happen. Like right now, the Warriors are getting mollywopped by the Timberwolves. I mean, what's the score of that, VJ, as we're recording this? Is it
124-107? I'm ticked off because they just went over my 230. They're right at 231. 231 was the over-under. I went under on the 231.
Wait, are you watching the game or are you just refreshing the scores?
Both. I have other computers. I got other laptops. I have 2 laptops in here and 3 phones as my setup. That's my setup, man. Yeah, I always got to keep my eyes. Plus, I got some hockey games tonight, and there's a lot of hockey on tonight. So my Pistons did cover, so I appreciate that. 116.
Detroit!
116, 113 at the Wizards. The spread was 3, so they covered. Rob and I both put that in our best bets tonight.
Shekel City,
yep. Pistons to cover that. Yeah, it was the Pistons to cover that 3 points. So cashed in there. But going with the Warriors. It's now 108, 222 left in the fourth. 108, 124. That game's over.
Yeah, it's just like the NBA is just so hard to kind of wrap the mind around it. I want to go over to this one, VJ. Okay. Another good thing you posed. Are the Grizzlies a for real team, man? Do you think the Grizzlies? Because I'll say this, I think the West is kind of. I mean, we got the Warriors, the Suns, the grit, and man, John Morant dropped a 50 burger last night. John Morant has been on a tear. Yep. Desmond Baines too. You got Steven Adams, who's just getting you a low-key double-double, getting like 8 and 9, 7 and 10, something like that. Yep. And the team's good. I just feel like Ja is just, man, imagine if they had like another like, and I got JJ, Jaren Jackson Jr. too. I think the team is good. It's just with that Western Conference, you got the Warriors and the Suns you got to worry about. Clippers, they could get healthy. You also got the Jazz. The West is like really wide open, and I could see it. I wouldn't be shocked if the Grizzlies, pulled some craziness and did something, wild, made it did something. But I wouldn't be shocked if they lost either. And I think the Grizzlies would fight very well in a series. I think they would, but it's just that West is just so wild, man. What are your thoughts? Wild West.
Wild West. I used to live downtown. Yeah. All right. So let's start here with the Grizzlies. All right. So let's just start with Ja Morant. And I'm going to take a hard stance on this because I hate prisoners of the moment when it's something we've seen before. Okay. I understand. I watched the game last night. Great performance. Electric, exciting, whatever adjective you want to use today. The catch and shot on the baseline from the out of bounds throw from the other end of the court by Steve Adams. That's pure poetry. Okay, I get it. But I've seen Ja Morant before. His name was Tracy McGrady. His name was Vince Carter. His name was Kobe Bryant. His name was Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen Derrick Rose. I've seen guards come into this league and do everything he's doing. He's not done one thing that I looked at and go, man, I've seen 15 years ago, Kobe was catching alley-oops and spinning 360 and laying it off the glass. Kobe was doing that. That's nothing I haven't seen before. Is he a young, great player? Yes. And I don't know if he's a great player. I just know he's an exciting player.
He's damn good. That's what you can say.
That jumper's got issues. He's gonna have to fix that. He's not a great three-point shooter. Gonna have to fix that. But right now, it's all athleticism, it's all driving to the basket, and I get it. But we said the same thing about Giannis. Giannis came into the league and was once he figured it out, picking up his dribble from the free throw line, 2 long steps, long extension, slam, dunking on everybody. We've seen this type of excitement before, and they're a second-round team, and they better watch themselves. Even in I have the Western Conference standings right here, but even in a first round, they better watch themselves. They would play a team like the Nuggets right now. They're the 3, the Nuggets are the 6. You're talking the Nuggets. Now say Murray's back. You're talking about the Nuggets with a team with an MVP and Jokic. They were embarrassed by the Suns last year in the Western Conference Finals. They would know what it would mean to go on the road and have to try to split in Memphis. And you have this young Memphis team that people I don't like to say, they're so young. They're playing so loose. Losses are losses, wins are wins. What does our guy say? Sports has a short menu. Wins, losses. I added on to it. Appetizers are practice and training. Desserts are championships. That's the sports menu. It's not just wins and losses. You need some appetizers and you need some desserts. But the meat of it is wins and losses. So they don't have experience. They don't have anybody that's ever been in a championship. They don't have anybody that's ever been deep into the playoffs. So when it gets tight, I'm gonna go with the squad that's been there, the squad that fought the Lakers in the bubble to a 6 game. And if it weren't for AD hitting that 3 to win game 2, remember, guys, that's a 1-1 going into that game 3 that that they won, and then they lost game 4. I think they won game 5 and lost game 6 and lost that series in 6. Or I think the Lakers might have beat them in 5, but I don't think they're a championship team. I'm not buying them as that. I'm not buying them as a contender. I'm buying them as a young, exciting team that's got a young, budding superstar who was taken 2nd overall. So they like this guy was 26th or 29th or 2nd round or undrafted. He was taken 2nd overall. There were debates that New Orleans should have taken him over Zion. Remember that. There was actually, it wasn't just a foregone conclusion Zion was number 1, but Zion had the marketing, Zion had the name, Zion came from Duke. Zion, and look now.
Yeah, John Morant came from Murray State.
Murray State.
That's nothing compared to Duke.
He came from a mid-major, but so it's not. He's not a bologna sandwich on the counter with no mayonnaise been sitting up there for 3 days with no cheese, no lettuce, just stale meat and bread. That's not what John Morant is. People thought he could have been the number 1 overall pick. So he's a really good player, but I've seen him before, and I've seen this type of team before, and this type of team gets to 2nd round, fight through the first, but gets to the 2nd round, man. The 2nd round, they're not better than the other 3 top 4 teams in not in the 7 game series. So am I buying them? No. Is Ja a really great young excited player? Yeah, but he's not a great player. He's a highlight guy right now, and I've seen him before.
Yeah, and I will say too, it's just like kind of like I just have that feeling that I won't be shocked if they did something. And you kind of with the Warriors earlier, but my basketball mind's like, young team. We got, a team like the Warriors, if somehow they get to 2nd round play the Warriors, they got a team like the Jazz, right? Like you got these teams, you got, if everything stays, where it is, you got 3 and 6 Nuggets. You don't want to face Jokic.
No,
you don't want no one wants to face. I will say this, whoever gets that 3rd seed, and if the Nuggets do say at 6, or whoever gets the Nuggets in general, as a better way to word this, I just want to say, man, you are in for a tough first round. That would be the one with the Nuggets, where whoever the Nuggets played, that team, that'd be the most likely to see a first round upset for me. And and it wouldn't be an upset because the Nuggets are a good. They're just. Imagine if they got Murray back too, which could happen.
Exactly.
Could happen.
They don't even have Murray, and then also
because the season ends like April 14th.
Porter Jr. has just been cleared for contact drills and contact practices too, so they're getting him back before. I'm pretty sure they want to have him back and have him repped up for the playoffs. So you're not getting you're not getting the Nuggets you would play right now. And look, let's even swap spots. Say the Nuggets make a move and they're tied with the Mavs. You want Luka in a 7-game series? We've seen what that kid can do. Your young team, he's young too. But I'll take in a game, in a series between them two, whether one was the 3 or the other was the 6, it wouldn't matter. I would probably still take the Mavs because I'll take Luka, who can do it from all parts of the floor. Ja is kind of just a penetrator, explosive to the rim, in the paint, second in the league and in the paint points. But if you put a wall up there in the playoffs, remember, it's a 7-game series. You put a wall up there in the playoffs and you don't get that, and that jumper doesn't start falling. Now I need Bane. Now I need these other guys that, once again, have never been in those situations before. Now you're asking them. And Luka was down 3-1 in the Mickey Mouse AAU Bubblegum AAU tournament they had in Orlando a few years ago. He was down 3-1 and came back and beat a squad. So we've seen Luka do it before. So even at the 3, you don't want the Nugs, or especially healthy Nugs. You don't want
and it's everything like you said. MPJ is getting cleared for contact. Yep. We saw what MPJ did, man. And if you get Jamal Murray, we know what Jamal can do. We know what the Joker can do. That Nuggets team is crazy, and you know what else they would do? They would take
Gordon, because Gordon is a great defensive player. They would take Gordon, and I think they would put Gordon on Ja. He's bigger. He's strong.
He can body him. Body Ja.
He'd guard him more. He'd guard him more times than anybody else. I definitely would. He'd guard him more times than anybody else. Bigger, stronger. You're gonna get beat on some plays. That's basketball. You're gonna get beat on some plays. But for the most part, 7 games, I'm gonna lean on you. I'm gonna bump on you. I'm gonna because you don't know what this is. You ain't been here yet. You ain't been to this yet. And teams only get you for a night. And by the time they figure out what they can do to you, you already got 40 on the board and there's 3:13 left in the third quarter. This game's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you. And we got anything else on this topic, or you want to hit something else?
No. Like I said, I've seen Ja before, and I'm not trying to diss him because people think that's.
I will say
before.
He's not like a different, like a Curry where something different. Ja's kind of like a Kobe, whatever.
Yeah.
So
you get this kind of guy like every 4 or 5 years in the league. You get a guy that comes in, a rookie who's crazy athletic, and
Jokic is different.
Remember Anthony Edwards. I think Edwards could be a Ja kind of player in a year. Remember, he's just in the middle or finishing up his 2nd year. Morant's in his 3rd, so he's just a year back. But playing with Cat and playing with D'Angelo really opens the floor for him. And there's some nights you watch him play, you go, man, if he had the ball in his hand more and really ran the offense, man, that kid.
Or when he goes, did you see? I remember that crazy. He's had some crazy posters too. Anthony Edwards, and he's on my. And when he goes off, I have him in fantasy basketball. He goes off, man. He can ball, and so that is a good comparison. And Edwards could be like Ja. And the next thing I want to dive into, we've been kind of getting series going back and forth. Worst sports moments, if any. Now, I'm sure everyone has, if you follow sports and you
personal or just everything.
It could be both, man. I was kind of leaning more towards
I was just making sure.
But I'm down for both, man. Let's do it. If we're talking, I'll start with personal. I'll go first on this one.
All right.
I think for me, the first thing personally, this one stuck with me for a while. Some was hard to recover from. And it was when the 2014-2015 Super Bowl, last couple minutes against Tom Brady, my Seattle Seahawks were so close, so close to being Tom Brady. We're on the 1-yard line. Bad play calling. You have beast mode.
Yeah.
You throw the ball and it's a pick. Tom Brady beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks could have won 2 in a row with that Legion of Boom team. I don't know if I feel like it could have changed, not legacy of Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Like, we know what Tom Brady does. But I feel like other thing, the Seahawks could be more respected. Another one I have 2 is probably let's see here. Let's see. Man, just being a Trailblazers fan and just seeing that team just get mollywopped in the first or second round. Like, I remember one of the games too. I posted on Instagram when this
Are you a
happened.
Trailblazer fan? We've never told Trailblazer. Are you a Trailblazer fan?
Yes, sir. No,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah. So what
Okay.
happened was, what I was gonna say is, it was, around, obviously playoffs were pushed back. So it was on like June last year. That one game where it was them and the Nuggets, they were going crazy, right? Like, that was their best game. It's just that all these great games, went to overtime. They almost beat the Joker. And then it's just when they're good, and then they'll just collapse, choke. And you're like, oh my God, you're getting blown up by 30 in the playoffs. What is this? Like, and also,
that was a good series though.
Man,
years.
I was entertained, and as a Blazers fan, the pressure on them was nice. And overall, worst sports moments as of late. I mean, we bring up the Nuggets, Jamal Murray getting hurt. That one comes to my mind, and a lot of these worst sports moments are injuries, and also like now, like we have this whole MLB thing. Like it's just a bleep show. To say the least, it's bad.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, right?
Horrible.
Like and I remember, memes on Twitter last night of, oh, it's 2 a.m, Florida time. Where should they go to eat? Like, if they were going, man, these guys are going.
I keep telling baseball purists, baseball's dead, man. Nobody wants to listen.
Yeah, I just like started to kind of watch it a couple of years ago, and I enjoy it, but it's just not.
I enjoy the game too. I still go to the batting cages. I have a bat and ball and glove in my car. I go to the batting cages still. I play baseball, but the Major League Baseball only
it's because Manfred. It's because Manfred.
Diehards pay attention during the regular season, and everybody else watches the playoffs and the World Series. That's it.
It's Manfred and Manfred, man. And it also too, I make this joke on Twitter because Ben Maller is one of my guys. I like the Mariners. I go to their games also because they're in Seattle. This is like 45-minute drive from me. But I'm like
I make
it's T-Mobile Park now. I was just there. I was there for the Mariners Blue Jays game.
You go to some cool stadiums, man. When you think about it, you go to Seahawk games. I've seen your pictures. So you're at Quest freaking Field.
It's Lumen now. They'll change the OG names.
I do. I still stay. Listen, I still call Miami Joe Robbie. Okay, like I'm not changing. Yeah, it's still Staples. I'm not calling it cryptocurrency.
Did you see what I saw? I tweeted on Twitter. It was during the Lakers Clippers game. I said this crypto.com arena thing just doesn't ring well or something like that.
Oh, it does. It's cryptocurrency.com.
Oh my God.
Arena. That's just too much to say.
I like Staples Center. Staples.
Fenway. One word. Staples. Fenway. The Big House. Horseshoe. Just there's certain stadiums.
Alton Stadium in Eugene.
You know what I'm saying? Alton. Like I've been there, man. I've called the game.
Me too.
I went. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh man, just the vibe there. And it's so old school. The stadiums is like Michigan. It sits almost ground level and it goes into the earth. So you have to. I stayed up top. I was not walking down there. I was like, nope. I have to turn around and walk back up. When you stand at the top and you watch people walk up at like halftime, have to go to the bathroom or after the game, everybody's like, whoo, man. Oh my God. It's because it's crazy. It's a crazy walk, but it's again a beautiful stadium. But yeah, you get to go to some dope stadiums, man.
Yeah, my goal. I've been looking at tickets. The Seattle Kraken. That a hockey game is just, I've never been, but like from what I've heard, it would just be crazy. And from what VJ was saying, a lot of you probably think like I have like season tickets. This year was really the year that like I started to hit the stadiums. Like it was the COVID year. I think code not having the stadiums. I think that's kind of what made me realize how cool it was. And even I'm in high school going to those games. Like I have videos on Snapchat of me just in the I'll probably post them later actually because we're talking about it. I have videos of us just like everyone like the student section. Those are wild. It's so fun and like just being at a game. I mean, I don't obviously I don't get to pay like attention like as though we're prepping a show, but we're in 2022. We got highlights. If it's an important game, if like that Seahawks Lions game meant something, I could have gone back and rewatched the highlights, recorded on DVR as you do, and paid more attention, took some notes. But like just being at the ballpark, the stadium, the arena, wherever you get to go, it's just such a good experience, and being hype about your team, even if it's not your team. Like I would still go to a game, for I don't know, like Blue Jays, like Nationals or something like that, or like Clippers, Wizards, or Clippers Sixers. I'd still go to that game, but it's just the experience of getting to the ballpark, getting to the stadium. That's fun. Another worst.
Are you a hot dog? Are you a hot dog or a peanuts guy?
I like them both, but I'm gonna go hot dog because a good ballpark hot dog is, man, like Mariners got the good dogs, man, and the I'm
a peanuts guy.
Oh, I'm not even for like the hot dog. Yeah, cool. Peanuts, yeah, cool, because I like them both. I'm gonna get me some garlic fries, man. The ballpark fries.
But see, Dodger Stadium doesn't have that, man. I'm out here in LA, and the only game when I went to Anaheim, we tailgated, so we got so full and so drunk in the parking lot. You don't even want to eat anything. You don't even want to eat anything once you get in the stadium. So, but I'm a peanuts bottle of water. It's hot out here, so I'm a peanuts, a couple of bottles of water. And I say, I'm at the end of the game, I want the shells at my feet. Like when I stand up,
I
crunch into it. There's so many shells on the ground from eating peanuts.
Like these like Roadhouse restaurants, and like I think Five Guys used to do it, and where you could throw the peanuts in the restaurant. I love peanuts. I was so hyped, but I just like to trying out the different hot dogs. Like I can go grab peanuts right now. Like I can go to the local Chevron.
Not like from the ballpark, man. Come on, baby. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to the ballpark.
And what I will say, I'm a disc T-Mobile Park here real quick. Fun, really good. I went to the Oregon Ducks, Oregon State Beavers, the Civil War. I went to Seahawks Lions. Got drinks from both those games. I got drinks from all three games. Yeah. The Seahawks, the football games, I got these cool cups. I could have brought in for the episode, but I know we're talking about this. I got these cool cups, kind of collector's items. All right, cool. A memory of going to the game. The Mariners game, I got a paper cup. Like I get these cool Seahawk cups. Like, come on.
It's saving money, man. It's saving. The Mariners haven't been good, man. They're not making a boat. They're not like making a boatload of money over there.
I bet Dodger Stadium. When I'm older and work in the media, I'm probably gonna go out to one of the bigger cities, and I want to hit Dodger Stadium just for like the.
They give something away every game. Every game is something.
Oh, Dodgers are loaded. Like the Dodgers, like the Yankees, and going back to worst sports moments.
Yep.
Man, why are all like not like personal, like okay, it's like Seahawks Blazers, but why is every like overall worst sports moment MLB? The Astros in 2017, that whole scandal, that was horrible.
I didn't mind it because I know
it was good talk radio. They
weren't the only people. Oh, listen, I'm on that side, man. They're not the only people.
And it's kind of like the PED argument too, where look, we. A lot of these guys, like Big Papi, David Ortiz tested positive, but Bonds
got in the hall.
Never officially tested. Like it's just we all know every player in the 90s or most players in the 90s.
Big Papi got hit twice, bro. Like there were 2 allegations and 2 times.
Dude,
against Big Papi for PEDs.
I'm gonna say this. I wasn't alive in the 90s, but from what I've seen, what I've researched about the era of PEDs, a lot, when the players got popped, they got popped. But I'm gonna say 80 to like 95% of the guys were doing some sort of steroid.
Absolutely. There were times that you hear stories where they said teammates would see other teammates inject, themselves.
It's just like, come on, man. And Barry Bonds never officially, actually was positive. Like I'm sure he did it, but it doesn't mean having Ortiz test twice, come back positive. It's just, Big Papi should be in the. It shouldn't be. It should be Barry in the Hall of Fame, man.
Pete Rose. Nah, we can go that route, man. Barry, Pete Rose, Clemens, all those guys should be in the Hall. Man. All those guys should be in the Hall. There's baseball, and I played the sport. I love.
Somebody
baseball.
said this perfectly on Twitter. It was a lot. It was like in January. It might have been our guy, Rob Parker, but someone said perfectly. If you're looking and if you're talking about the MLB in the 90s, what's like the first things that come to your mind? Besides like players. Exactly. It describes the game. The MLB never did anything to stop it. So it's just like, come on.
Yeah. So that's why it doesn't like the only PEDs I don't like is basketball. And if you use them in like basketball, like contact sports, right? I think that's cheating. But PEDs in baseball to me was like, I'm pretty sure there were guys on PEDs who didn't hit a lot of home runs or couldn't hit a lot of home runs and tried. Like they tried to take the PEDs to hit a lot of home runs. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what, boys and girls? Excuse me, they failed. They didn't, so it didn't really work. You already had to be really good, and it kind of just situated it and just put it on a different level, but it didn't.
It's kind of like if you want to harm your body, if these PEDs are like really bad, if you want to death yourself, do it.
It's different nowadays. But by that time, I mean, look, Marion Jones went to prison for it, man, for lying about it. That just people on Capitol Hill in Congress talking about it. It was just a major waste. But I agree with you, man, and I won't even go too long on PEDs or the way I feel about baseball, the Hall of Fame. I love the sport. I played the sport. I watched the sport with my sports betting company now, Husky Bets. I'm going to be watching more and more games because I'm going to be putting bets out there and picks out there every single day. So I don't mind it. So I just wish baseball would just get there, together and just give us a product on the field, man. Do it right. Like your best player shouldn't be just hitting out here in Anaheim, where, people don't really, he's not a star. Like he's out here in LA, he's out here in Anaheim, he's out here in Hollywood. And Mike Trout might be in the hundreds as far as the best stars or biggest stars in LA, but baseball doesn't promote him enough and he doesn't rip around and come out enough. So you're not going to that's why you keep getting all these work stoppages and unions, because they're always trying to mess with the money or mess with the deals and stuff that's going on. But you can make up that money if you started promoting the game better. So but I'm with you on the whole steroid thing. Those guys should be in. It's BS, man. I'll leave it there. It's BS.
Yeah, and hey, are the it's that time. Are the Lakers? How are they doing, man?
They're down 10. They're down 10 already, man. What I tell you, what was going to happen? Luka already.
Well, I agree with you because I mean, if you're gonna lose to the freaking Pelicans, then you're gonna lose.
Yeah, they're covering. They're covering tonight, man. LeBron started. The narcissist started at center. So I mean, I know
you said the L word. If I was on the radio, I'd done that.
Well, by accident. I know. I'm not even gonna look at their numbers. I'll go over here to Dallas. He's got 12. Brunson's got 7. Dinwiddie's going to be good. Coming over from that Washington trade, he's going to fit in really there. But yeah, Luka's already got 12 in 12 minutes, 4-9 from the field. They're already down 10.
I had to say, going off on a side note here, which we're doing a lot, but it's kind of relevant. Our guy Jalen Brunson, man, it was the Mavericks Warriors game, and the sideline reporter was talking about. She asked him, "Are you the second option?" He said, "I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is leading this team properly. I want to be that leader, and I think I am that leader." It's just I respect I respect that, man. And
that's the kid from Villanova, correct?
Jalen Brunson, yeah. Brunson, the guy you just said his name. He's like 7 points right now.
Yeah. But I want to make sure I was talking about. I watch so much sports. Sometimes you forget really quick where a kid wins, especially with basketball. But he went Villanova. I'm thinking he might have been on one of those national championship teams, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson, I'm pretty sure it's Villanova, and the time does match up, right?
Yeah. The time does match up. Sounds like
I think he did. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was.
They won 2. Jay Wright won 2. They beat Carolina, and then they beat somebody else. I forget. Was Michigan State? I forget who they beat. But they won 2, and I think Jalen Brunson was the guard, because Chris Jenkins was the guard on the other team. He hit the 3 at the buzzer in overtime to beat Carolina. And then I think Jalen Brunson was the starting guard on that team.
Yeah, because Brunson's been you're right, because Brunson's been in the league 3-4 years now.
Okay, so then that is Brunson he didn't win a national championship.
Yeah, we could be complete, but I'm pretty he's been around a while, which is, and yeah, you're right about Dinwiddie, man. And that guy kind of I forgot he existed until Sunday, because been injured and then went to Washington, wasn't really.
Yep. But remember when he was with the Nets at 1.2 and he was
good,
very effective.
He's very effective for the Nets, man. He's a player. He's not a star. He's not a one. But if you put him with
he's
other
there
good
to get you
players,
what he's there to get you, some
yeah,
solid minutes, some solid points, and do his job.
yeah.
That's what he's
He
not like.
yeah, he does his and see and if you don't mind, just for 60 seconds, when you talk about guys like that, Shaq likes to say the others. You got to get the others involved. He's a guy you need those guys to win championships. And that's why, in my opinion, there's only 3 teams that can win the championship this year. There's only 3. I know we want to think it's more, but it's not. It's 3 teams that can win the championship. One's from the West, and the other 2 are from the East. It's not 2 teams in the West that can win the championship, boys and girls. There's only 1 team that can win it. There's a team that can get there, and they got there already. And what happened? They lost in 6. That's not a championship team. They're a regular season, really exciting team. But there's 2 teams in the East, I think can win it. But to do that, you need a Dinwiddie on your team. You need those type of players.
It's a cool name too, Dinwiddie.
Yeah, it is Dinwiddie. It makes me laugh now when I say it, like nuts. I'm so immature. I'm so sorry.
Me too. Hey, I'm in high school. Nuts.
I'm so immature, man.
Or like fart, just stupid. Yeah.
Like if somebody's got like a jar of nuts, and like a friend of mine, if you go to work or something, you're hanging around somebody pulls out a jar of nuts. I'm the immature grown man that'll look and go, see you enjoying your nuts there. A whole jar. Just bought a whole jar of nuts today.
Or it's like, when someone's like, yeah, I have ball. I'm playing with the balls. I'm like, you play with the balls,
exactly,
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. or when friends say anything like, don't talk about desserts around me, because the comedian in me comes all out. Like if you say, oh yeah, man, that's bomb with some whipped cream. I'm the guy that goes, oh, word, you want whipped cream?
You want to elaborate?
You want to elaborate? You want somebody to you want one of us to put whipped cream on you? You said whipped cream, bro. I'm just talking about what you said. And I had a friend going to get, and I still to this day, this is like 4 years ago, he won't talk about hot dogs with me because we're on the phone.
I got a story for you. If you talk to Rob G and the vegan closely, if you can text him right now to have him like find this for you, it's a drop in the system. Our guy Rob Parker was in New York, and this is so fun. This is my favorite drop on Fox Sports Radio right now. He had a hot dog for lunch, and our guy Tysher, our guy the vegan, baited him to say, "I have a glizzy in my mouth."
Yeah.
My guy, if you can, I can DM Alex on Instagram to tell, because he'd know exactly what you're talking about. It was. And then he's like, even Bruce Hart was like, I know that sounds a little funny, Tysher. DJ Tysher, make sure you save that. And they let it breathe. And then it's like Rob's like,
yeah, I gotta know. I'm sorry, that one was good. I got a better one. I'm sorry, I do. And I honestly believe you'll agree with this. Talking to a homeboy of mine back east, he's out running around errands, and I'm out running around errands. We're just catching up on the phone.
Yeah.
And he stops by a bodega back in the hood where I used to live in Connecticut to get hot dogs. And he goes inside, and I hear him order them, and he ordered 2 footlongs. So when he's done ordering, he's like, yeah, hey, hold on for a minute. Yeah, let me get blah, da, 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 get his order. Then he's like, all right, yeah, like 5-10 minutes. All right, I'll be outside. I'll come right back in. So he goes outside. He was like, hello? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm outside waiting on my food. I was like, it's 2 footlongs, huh? He's like, shut up, B. Shut up, B. Shut up. I was like, just 2. So 2, you could take 2 footlongs? Like, that's how much?
Not 1, not 2, or 2?
Not 1, but 2? Like, you 2 footlongs? He goes,
yeah. You know what's funny?
Ha, ha, ha. Joke, joke, joke. He goes, I know this. I'm about to have 24 inches of dog, though. I was like, hold up. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. You about to, what? Because he thought he was like showing me like,
and he kept playing himself.
So now anytime he mentions food, anytime he mentions sausage, hot dogs, kielbasas,
dude,
he won't even take a picture of the dogs and the sausages and send that. He crops that out, because I always go, yeah, because you just like 24 inches of dog in your mouth, like I don't.
Ben Maurer, our guy, and I will agree with you. But what makes the Rob, I have a glizzy in my mouth, is the the accent and that it's a drop saved on national radio. That's what makes it good. And Ben Maller during the Deshaun Watson, era saga, all this, he I don't know if you listen to Ben. You know, if you know how Ben talks, Yeah, I'm not good at his impression, but he was like the kielbasa. He got a little his sausage was is out there. He liked having the Johnson, which I use that. I think I use it in my podcast actually. I was trying to keep it professional, but I'll say this though, like what the Deshaun Watson that's kind of sus, but still like, man, how do you? Yeah, it's just the way the analogies and
I'm
how
so
much
mature.
food,
I'm so mature.
how much even in the Mauer militia, the most loyal fan base in sports radio, they will tweet to Ben when he does a Deshaun Watson Mauer monologue, and he won't, like lately, that the details haven't been, out. It's just been, more like logistics. Like, he hasn't had to use kielbasa or the sausage or the hot dog.
I'm so mature when it comes to that type of stuff.
Dude,
I'm always gonna do the frat boy.
If you can,
dude, sophomoric as joke. I just
if you can, next time you go to the Fox Sports Radio studios, depending on who's on the board, if you ever are in, later, our guy Roberto, Ben's guy, ask him to show you all the out of context he has for that show. And Tie Shirt too, Iowa Sam. Next, there's some that you're just like, oh my, like, and then sometimes they'll edit them together because there's like 2 seconds apart.
I need to be more loose when I go in there. Broussard likes cutting me off, man. I told him last week when I was on the phone. Rob's trying to make my LeBron point. He kept over talking me. Rob goes, you see, VJ, you can't get a word in. I deal with it 5 days a week. I said, yeah, well, he cuts me off when I'm in the studio with him, so I'm used to it by now.
Yeah, dude. Man, I always I love, the sound effects, the drops of radio, man. Yeah. Like, I know it's kind of, we're gonna also have Iowa Sam this week coming on. Your guy, you've worked with him.
Yes, sir.
The pride of Iowa.
I saw that. I started following him on Twitter too.
Yeah, he has some funny. He's a good follow at Iowa Sam 99. But okay. I was, whenever I don't know if he did this with you, but he started to do this where they'll have like the big intro, and it's like, here's veejay Husky and Aaron Torres, and then he'll be like, the guy will start, whoever you or Aaron will be like, welcome to the show, and they'll start playing the clapping sound effect. Like the big, crowd, like applause. I'm like, man, that's if I had a soundboard, how much I'd use it every time I have a good point.
Yeah. Like, well, let me tell you what you can do. Let me tell you how you hood rig it. The way I do my sounds is I have a Bluetooth speaker right here, and then I have sounds recorded into my phone.
Mm-hmm. So I actually have a soundboard app on my phone. But...
Yeah, and so exactly. So, and then this is my Bluetooth speaker. And this normally just sits like right here on my dashboard, or right where people can hear it. That's where the music plays from. That's where my callers call in and play from. So, just a little hack there. You don't actually need a soundboard. It looks good, but there's other less expensive ways to be creative with your own show.
Yeah, yeah. And then you went off on a big tangent there. Emmett Douglas, veejay Husky. Now, usually the trade deadline in the NBA is just a flop. Like, nothing really big happens. But this year, our wishes were granted. This is actually a really big trade deadline. But the main trade we're here to talk about is, I'm sure you guys are like, oh, I have to hear about this again. But, it's good talk. James Harden and the Ben Simmons, James Harden trade. Now, who's going to win that, whatever. Look, I'll say this. We've seen James Harden in the Sixers the past couple games. We got James Harden, Joel Embiid, who just on Sunday, 23, he went like to the foul line like 27 times at least. So it was crazy. But that I just had to put that in there. But they got that big 3, big 4 with like why am I what's that guy's name? I'm the shooting guard. You got
Steph Curry?
No, on the Sixers, you got Harris, you got Harden. You've got Embiid and the other guy, not Thibault.
Is it Maxey?
Tyrese Maxey. Wow, that was a horrible
Yeah,
brain
there you
fart.
go, Maxey.
You know that they were all just balling, man. It's just like, do I think? Look, my thing on Ben Simmons is that system is perfect for him. Like you got Kyrie, KD. Kyrie's coming back very, very soon, and you gotta have him full time. And who knows when Ben Simmons is coming back? Apparently, it's like back soreness now. But you know, Ben Simmons, he just has to distribute the ball. He has to feed it into Kyrie and KD when they're back at full strength. And this is I think the winning, who won this trade is kind of weird at this point because look, we haven't even seen Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD play yet. But I can give you my thoughts on the trade. That's a thing. I like the addition of Seth Curry on the Nets. Andre Drummond, he can go in there, do some dirty work, grab you some boards, block a shot or two, drive into the paint, throw it down.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, he's going to be there. He can get like 13, 14 points, but he's going to be there to be your distributor, play some defense. He's 6'11". He can body. But it's a different role, I feel like, because you got Kyrie and KD who are like elite scorers, and even Seth Curry who can ball. You don't need Ben Simmons as your second option like you did in Philly. So I think it could be a better system for Ben Simmons. James Harden, I like that even more, but I'm not going to say winners. We haven't seen Kyrie, Ben, and KD play. Like I said, what James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris have done has been fun. They've been balling, but man, what I'm worried about is something going wrong chemistry wise with Harden and Embiid in like a year, and like a whole nother thing happening. Thing would happen, and I do think the Sixers could make a little bit of a run in the playoffs. It's just that East is more to me. Just I could see the Sixers winning it. I could see the Nets, if everything goes their way. I'm not gonna say they're like I believe it might have been Bruce Hard said, oh, that could win it all, but but yeah, I just think.
Has he heard you do that shit? Yeah.
No, okay.
He hasn't heard you do that.
I just found that today. I've never done that before until now.
Oh my god, dude,
I've done the
Rob
Parker on
more high pitch. I've smoked a lot of cigars in my life, so I can't.
Dude, I've done the Rob Parker on him, Covino and Rich. Their producer, a spot was like that one's really good, man. That did Rob Parker call into the show?
I did Rob on air too with Chris. Chris is like, that's a good Rob Parker, but I do
that's a good Rob Parker impression. VJ, Vanilla Brother. Yeah, Chris Broussard has a very distinct.
My god, you gotta do that.
Man, the DJ T-shirt's off again, Rob. Man, this guy he's betraying us for the herd.
Hey yo, man, add in you acting like and he knows it. I dislike so much when he goes, I'm like, stop with you acting like. I'm not acting like anything.
You acting like
opinion. You acting like he all that. Like, man, stop, bro. Stop with that.
Stop it.
Like, I'm not acting like anything. I'm giving my opinion. Yeah, he says that, and I texted him the other night. I said, man, can you stop with you acting like? I'm not acting like nothing. I'm giving my opinion. If you add that acting like to that pitch, but anyway, go ahead, man. I don't want to hog up the show.
Dude, yeah, I got it. Big Bruce Hart's too big time for me. If I could get him on here, oh my, that'd be fun. I got.
I'll help you. I'll help you get him on one. He might do it one time. He's only done my show.
VJ,
Rob's done my show like 15 times.
Dude, Rob is I gotta text him like on Instagram.
Rob keeps it a butt, man. Tell him and VJ hit on the Pistons tonight too. Make sure you add that.
Yeah. I'll do it because his DMs aren't. I've already tried, man. His DMs aren't open on Twitter, so I'm gonna tweet him publicly and be like, hey, I'll say that you and VJ both hit on the Pistons tonight, man, and then you'll come my podcast. I'll make it open. I'll take Rob, but yeah, Rob would do it, dude. Rob's such a talk about like he's one of the most funny people you like ever.
Dog, hold on. I hate to cut you off. You have to go. Oh my god, wow. Luka throws down a dunk on Dwight Howard on a putback. Dwight's waiting on a rebound. Somebody just put it up on Instagram, and Dwight goes to get a rebound,
Luka climbs his back with one hand and dunks it over the. Oh my god! And they're down 15. Oh, by the way, they're down 15 at home too.
After the show, I don't even know if I want to turn the game on. It's just so I can't watch like the Lakers without being like, this is.
I'm done.
Sorry,
I told you, man. I'm done with them. I agree with you. I like the trade for the Nets more. I thought Philly giving up Seth is going to be the move that they wish they didn't have to do, but I get why they did it, because if you want Harden, then you have to kind of give up Seth.
Yeah.
If you want Harden, you have to. So especially if they say that's what they want. So I think that's why the deal works out better, because now you have Seth, you have Joe Harris, who's also a three-point marksman. You got Easy Money Sniper and Kyrie. You got 4 3-point shooters. They probably won't be on the floor together a lot. Drummond gives him size. It's an athletic size too. He's not just a statue 7-footer that's gonna. He's not Bogut. You know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't get an Andrew Bogut. You got a 6'11", 6'10", 6'11" guy with just athletic ability, broad, can go get you 15 rebounds, block 2 or 3 shots, 10 shots at the rim, and he's athletic, so you can run with him and use him on the pick and roll. He's not Lopez. He's not shooting threes. None of that. So I think that helps him too. I would love to think that. I think, and also too, my man Afro Reed. Shout out to Afro Reed. I think he plays home games because this is just the process. They just lift the
mandate,
the rules a little bit, and then the restrictions a little more, and then they'll do it a little more and a little more. And by the time we get to the playoffs, trust me, those are politicians. That's a business. The Nets are a business in New York. There's gonna be somebody that gets in the right ear, agrees with the right palm, and say, "Hey, listen, we need to lift this. We need this guy on the court for the playoffs. We can't just have him on the road." Like, you're affecting business. You're affecting sponsorship money. You're affecting a lot of things going on in the city with that team. But I just think it might be a little too late. Simmons has the back soreness. I love his fit. He doesn't have to go score now. He could just.
That's what I'm saying.
He's first team all defense. Remember, 2 years ago, he's first team all defense. First team Ben Simmons was. So you got a long 6'11" rangy guy on the perimeter to defend with Durant, who's playing much better defense this year. Durant's playing much better D. They talked about Durant was playing this year, and you know you have isn't it? Aren't they? Oh no, it's Philly that's going after DeAndre Jordan, but I think DeAndre Jordan's done anyway. But Doc had him with the Clippers, so that that makes a lot of sense. Actually, DeAndre used to date his daughter before she married Seth, so they know each other. But I don't think either one of those teams come out. I think Brooklyn can come out if they get it together. I just think they may be late. I still think the team to beat in the Eastern Conference is still the Bucks, because full and healthy, you get Connaughton back, you get Lopez back. They just have a lot of weapons. And I'm not a Bobby Portis fan. He's almost kind of corny to me, because it's like he's trying to make himself maybe into like the next Rodman or something, possibly, with the hype into the crowd. I like it organically, but it seems like, dude, you don't have to flex and yell at the crowd or stare at the crowd now after every 3-point shot, okay? Like, you just hit them. Just keep hitting them. But I think the Bucks are still the better team. I think the Nets won the deal this year and for the long haul because Philly had to give up Seth, and I just don't think you can replace that type of shooting. And with Harden and Embiid, it's going to look great in the regular season, but when you get to the playoffs and it comes to a team you're playing in a 7-game series, you're gonna have to adjust. And I like James Harden a lot, but I'm not an apologist. He has to be better in the playoffs, or I have to stop defending the guy. You can still be a fan, but when people say something about him, I kind of probably have to come away from, oh no, man, that's just big. It's like, no, dog. Now you wouldn't be. You was with Durant and Russ before. Then you went to Houston. You've had Chris Paul. You had Russell Westbrook there. Then you've had other players. Then you go to New Jersey and you got Durant. You got Kyrie. I know you guys didn't play together a lot, but then your hamstring was hurting. You wore a fat suit in Houston to get out of Houston. You show up to Brooklyn lean, and then somebody said, so he did the same thing in Brooklyn, because somebody said the other night, man, that's the leanest I've seen him since Houston, his middle, like his MVP Houston years. That's the leanest I've seen him. And he wore all white. They wore the white union. White shows everything. So you got to win in the playoffs to get rid of all of those narratives, or people just going to continue to say it about you. But for the long haul, I think the Nets won the trade, and I think they won it for the short haul too. But I still think the Bucks are the team to come out of the
I just want to say too, with Ben Simmons, I was talking about system. In June of last year, after the series, and when this whole Ben Simmons unhappy thing and Ben Simmons overwhelmed thing started, I said, is Ben Simmons a superstar? No. do I think he still has a spot to be really good in the NBA? Yes. And that's all system. If he were to go, I said if he were to go to a team where he didn't have to score much, he's going to be fine. He can defend well, and he can pass. You don't need Ben Simmons to get you 25. You need to get 14, like I said. And I said that from the long run, and I'm gonna stick by it. And it's good. I'm actually really, excited to see when all of this, KD's back, Ben Simmons gets cleared, and I don't think it's any time soon. I don't, especially not in the next week. I mean, he's not gonna come back. He's not gonna go back to Philly.
You want me to blow your mind with the Mavs game right now?
What's up? Did I just jinx it?
The Mavs have 70 points in the first half.
Okay, so I tweeted out, right? Because it's funny when I do it because Bo responds in like 2 minutes. Bo's my guys, he told me about the Zoom thing, man. I was trying to do interviews for a while. I was like, Zoom, huh? And he's like, yeah, dude, you just record it and it works. And he's a Laker apologist. He's kind of like Rob G, Laker apologist. And I tweeted, oh wow, shocker, Lakers getting mollywopped again. I got like a couple people who liked it so far, but
somebody tweeted the other day, and I think this is really valid. If they're trying to get Vogel fired by playing the way they're playing, I will lose respect for everyone on this roster. As a pro athlete,
was that a Rob Guerra tweet?
I'm not sure. But if they're trying to get him fired on purpose by their play, that is such BS. That is such Bush League.
They're not doing
professionalism.
I am not.
Listen, I believe. Listen, man. Let me tell you something about sports that I believe. This is just my opinion. What I believe. Sports is real life, and sports has a lot of moving parts nowadays, man. Because everybody getting money, everybody's got a sponsorship, everybody's got a shoe deal, bro. Everybody's got an endorsement deal. Everybody's got something. There's just no guy just playing in the league no more. Everybody's got something. Whether you're in Bitcoin, you're in crypto, or you're in commercials, or everybody's got something, right? And I think now you have more power as a player and can manipulate situations even easier than you ever could across sports. Look at the topics we've talked about tonight. Kyler Murray, new contract, manipulation with the agent in the article. We've talked about the narcissist, manipulation. We've talked about Aaron Rodgers, manipulate. Just 3 topics we've talked about.
You mean Russell Wilson manipulating?
There's a manipulating factor in there, right? Of someone trying to wield their power. And you cannot play well on purpose. And trust me, there are guys that do, man. Trust me on this. And get a coach fired. They're not going to cut you. But you cannot tell me, in all honesty, that you're putting an honest effort out on the floor tonight and against the Pels and at the All-Star and just when you cannot tell me this is an honest effort when it's 70 point and this is the way you do it. Well, we'll score 53 at the half. We're on pace for what we average, a little bit below we average, 106, 107. Okay, cool. What is Frank Vogel known for as a coach? Defense, right? They're giving up 131, 129, 120. It's easy to just half-ass it on defense, but still go score your points.
Okay.
What creates the narrative? The narrative gets created. Well, it's the defense, and he's supposed to be a defensive guy. And that's, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. What I will say is, like we brought up earlier, and you alluded to, LeBron's power. He has power. LeBron is LeBron. Big people, big figures have power. And I feel LeBron with kind of like, it's like the predicament earlier of, the FO, if you will, the front office. If LeBron James wanted Vogel out, he would have been out. I truly believe. And
I disagree. I think Jeannie took a lesson from her dad. Mm-hmm. And I think that he went or tried to symbolize that he wanted. And she said, we're not making any moves, front officer. You guys wanted this. This is what I heard that she told Pelinka and LeBron. Basically, business-wise, this is your mess. Clean it up. This is what you guys wanted. I gave you what you wanted. Clean it up. Her dad used to go to Phil. Phil, you don't think Phil ever went to her dad like, look, man, you got to do something about Kobe and Shaq. No. You wanted the coach here. We're winning. Go clean it up. Go fix it. Nobody's going nowhere.
Skip, man.
Nobody's going nowhere. Go fix it.
Skip Bayless. All right, this is 3 minutes ago. What LeBron and Westbrook now do best is beg for calls.
No, listen. If LeBron thinks he's gonna play with his son, where's it gonna be? With Orlando, man, or the man? Like the guy is. Oh, if you watch,
He's
he looks good when he's got a running start. He can still take off and dunk, guys. I get that part of it. He's got a running start, but a lot of times he don't have a running start, and everything is a short layup. I've never seen him miss this many layups or have to go for this many under the brim type score when he gets inside the paint. Or if he can just muscle you because he's on all the HGH, he can just muscle you out of the way and score. That's really what his game is right now, people. And some nights he can hit the three, but the last 7 or 8 games, go look at that 3-point percentage. It is horrific. He's got 2 missed free throws already again tonight. He's a 70% career free throw shooter. It's just, it just is what it is, man.
Yeah. Now we've been off on these tangents. Now is there anything else you want to cover, man? You got anything, or we want to go to football, or what you want? I'll let you pick the next thing we dive into.
I'll go through my worst sports moments real fast.
All right, bet.
Malice at the Palace. Dan Marino losing the Super Bowl to San Francisco. Kobe's death. And
Kobe's death, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
We went on a tangent. Yeah, that might be my worst.
The way Kobe,
be my worst.
Dude,
my worst ever is the Sunday morning I woke up.
I can remember what I was doing that day.
Yep. I can remember where I was sitting, who I was talking to, everything.
Same. Kobe, obviously like the Kobe, whenever, you throw something, and, how good of a basketball player he was, just so impactful on not just, so on your age, but all the way to my generation too. Like I'll tell you where I was the day that I found out. I was at my grandparents' house and my dad was there. We were about to go to Costco, right? And I see the news. I'm like, it was my dad who saw the news. It's like, hey, Kobe dies. Is this real? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, what? Maybe. And then, I was like, I looked into it myself. I'm like, oh, it's TMZ. This isn't looking good. And then I go in the car, and then like 3 other people break it. And I'm just like, oh, this is real. Like I was sitting in the back seat of my grandparents' car when all of this, like, it's just crazy how, like, I'm not even a Lakers fan. I just like how good Kobe was. I still remember the day he retired, 61 points, and he broke Twitter. Twitter was down. I was even on Twitter. I just remember hearing from people. Twitter was down. That's how much legacy Kobe had. It's just like, wow, like that is just wild.
Yeah, Kobe dying to me, man, was it still hurts to this day, man. It was
too young, man.
Yeah, it was, and not just him, man, just the whole incident, the helicopter.
Nine people?
The other 7 people.
Yeah.
He dies with his daughter, man. I'm pretty sure they were sitting right next to each other. I think about things like what was going on in there once they felt that thing going to the ground, man. And
dude, can you imagine, dude? Like,
you can't open out and jump with a parachute. That you're gonna get caught in the propeller. You're gonna get all sliced up. You can't. So there's just no way. You've never heard of anybody jumping out of a helicopter, to save their own life. When a helicopter goes down, but I mean, it's how he traveled, and it's how he was known for that. And that was a flex that Kobe could park on top of Staples and go to show up the games. He didn't drive the games, and then he had a Benz. He had like a really huge kind of party bus Benz van that would take him home a lot of nights because he had an ice bath in there. He would ice bath on the way home. A lot of these stories that I hear with guys that work for Spectrum and covered the Lakers, and my nephew played with the Lakers. So Kobe.
Wait, who's your nephew?
Kendall Marshall.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah, Kendall Marshall, right. My nephew. Yeah, it's my oldest brother Dennis's son.
Wow. That's cool.
That's my nephew. Yep. So he played here and had his moments with Kobe. Kobe was actually hurt that year, but he would come in and work out and come in and train or come into practice and stuff or shoot around sometimes with the guys. But that was a bad one. So I had the Malice at the Palace because I'm a Pistons fan, and I just hate that that's attached to my team's storyline. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of my life, I'm just mad that that's attached to it. My personal one was my junior year in high school. We had a shot to win state sectional and then move deeper into the state playoffs. And we lost to a team called Hobden that actually had Michigan helmets. And that's how I remember them because I'm a big Michigan fan. They had Michigan helmets. We're down 21 and we fight back in the second half and get the overtime. And I remember when we break in the huddle, I'm playing corner on the right side, and I look at the corner on the left side when we break the huddle. Hobden had a sophomore quarterback named Cornelius Lindsay, who was moved up from JV earlier that week when the JV season was over. They played because their star quarterback got hurt. Their all-state quarterback got hurt and got knocked out of the game the last week, and he wasn't fit to play this game. But he had been scrambling and kind of running the option on us. I remember looking over at Dante Alford, and I said, bro, he's coming your way. And lo and behold, with 8 seconds left on the clock, he runs that option, and he keeps it, and he runs the Dante side, and he scores. I remember watching him score because I wanted to goal line, trying, chasing the play from the backside. And I remember the photographer's flash from that was on the sideline taking pictures, and that was the picture that was in the newspaper the next day. It was him sticking the ball across the line and scoring. And right on the right side of him, you see number 17, me, like almost like, damn, and Dante diving for him. And I told him he was coming to that side. That was the biggest personal loss I ever had because that was the closest I could have ever got to a state championship in high school football. So 1994, we lost to Hobden High School in the state sectional championship game. They kept us from going deep because if we'd have got past them, we believe we'd have beat the other two teams that were left, and I would have won the state. So that one right there. I
got one more.
Derrick Rose's first ACL tear.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a dude. Imagine if he never had any of those.
Say it again.
Imagine if Derrick Rose never had any ACL tears.
Oh, yeah. Well, not just him. I mean, I go back even further. Imagine if Grant Hill never played on that broken ankle in the playoffs for the Pistons last year. There.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant Hill, there was a time, and this is before your time, there was a time in the NBA, man. There was a good 4-year stretch where Jordan was always the undoubtedly best player in the league. But there was always a debate for number 2. And there was a 4-year span where number 2 could have been Grant Hill. And there weren't people that was going to vehemently debate it with you. They would just go, oh, okay. They would still talk about their guy, but no one goes, man, Grant Hill ain't the second best player. Everybody went, oh, yeah. He is a triple-double kind of, he was the point. He was that Scottie Pippen point forward, but shot better than Scottie Pippen. Was a better player than Scottie Pippen. Mm-hmm. So when Grant Hill got hurt too, I mean, Penny Hardaway, that's before your time too. Penny Hardaway never has the microfracture knee.
Yes.
Penny Hardaway never has that. I mean, there's
so many of them.
Yeah, I was about to say there's so many you can say that about. But the Derrick Rose one, because he was a small point guard and coming from Chicago, being the number 1 overall pick to the hometown Bulls, almost winning the national championship in college as a true freshman. It was just a soft-spoken, nice dude, wasn't trying to flash or talk trash and none of that. He's just really laid-back player. I think a lot of people pull for him were a fan. And when he blew that ACL the first time, it was like, oh, man. Like, I hated that. So I don't have a bunch of worse sports moments, but normally.
Okay, now that you bring up like your high school.
Sorry, one more. Rangers Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup finals, losing to the Kings. That one hurts.
Yeah, I have one here. You're talking about your high school days. This one happened to me 2 years ago, and it wasn't that it was. So I ran in the ambulatory division, which is like other, people who have like disabilities, because like I'm blind. It's like for cross country at state, right? And I'm, doing my thing, training really hard to, obviously do this race. And, you worked really hard, and I start to feel this kind of pain in my calf. I'm like, oh, I've been working hard, whatever. So I'm like, whatever, whatever. We're 3 days away from state. I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah. I don't know what happened. The doctor said I pull it, but I'm not buying that because it took a while to heal. And I didn't go to the doctor till after the fact too. And I was like, all right, we'll see what happens, right? The weekend there was one of the best weekends I've had. But if we're talking sport moments, during competing in the competition, then this, man, I gotta say, so we start the race. At first, it wasn't too bad, right? It was kind of hurting, but I'm like, what? It's 30 minutes. I can get through it. Man, when I say that way, it was just running hurt was horrible. It got to the point where I was like, yeah, I have my guy runner. I was just like using her for like support to like finish. And then she's like, if you quit, you're going to regret it. But then I'm like, you're right, but you're wrong at the same time. Like, it's one of those. You're like, I got you, but like if I
Yeah.
do quit, then this would be nice. But it was a great experience. Like I do, obviously I did get to go back senior year. I didn't get to junior year because COVID, but um
Are
it
you
was a
still
good.
in high school?
Yeah, I got 2 months left, boss.
You're a senior in high school?
Yeah. Remember you said during the last
I
show.
forgot about that, man. God, I keep thinking you're like 19, 20. Wow,
No.
you're a senior and you're about to graduate. Are you excited?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, man. Like I want, I obviously want to go for like journalism, sports radio stuff. So you go to college, I can get like my degree and become official. I want to do what Broussard, Parker, Ben Maller. I don't know if you know, but Jonas Knox, that's my real inspiration. I want to be like
Really?
Jonas.
Jonas?
Dude, Jonas, where he can just go off the walls and it can be serious. It's funny. I don't want to be like.
I like going on. I'm very free. If you notice, and
If
I don't
you gotta check out. I hate to plug myself again, but you guys gotta check out the Jonas interview. That a bunch of people have interviewed him. I have too, and obviously I'm not like a broke like kid, but like the way how hard working the guy was, man. There's just like respect.
You got to be in this business, man. You got to be, you got to spread yourself across, man. I always tell people never listen to jack of all trades, master of none, because the whole real saying is a jack of all trades, master of none is still better than a master. Master of one is still better than a master of none.
Yeah.
So, you got to spread. You got to work hard to spread yourself. And I think I screwed that saying just now, but you got to spread yourself across this industry. I think I got it right, but something in my head is saying, nah, man, that's not how I go. I think I misplaced one word there. So,
bro, I'm on Twitter and the Lakers. It's like I tweeted this the other night. You even liked it. Seeing Lakers Twitter lose it is just it's so. I've seen like 8 tweets in the past like 30 minutes. Well, Vogel's gone.
Twitter period, man. It's just
no, but the Lakers fan, like especially the Lakers, like I think it's because I listen to Fox a lot. All the Laker guys are, but just seeing everyone just Vogel's gone, or it's just funny when like someone just overreacts. Like I don't think Vogel's gonna be gone. There's like a month left in the season. Like come on.
Yeah, well.
Unless LeBron really pulls a LeBron, like I want him gone now.
No. Like I said earlier, look, the season's over. And that's just bad. It's to me, once again, I mean, that's just bad radio, bad platform using where we have to. Okay, so in December it was, oh man, it's early. Excuse me, November. Let's go by November. It was, it's early. Let them come on, man. Let them play together a little. Okay, cool, no problem. December, same thing. January, same thing. February. Then January started. It's Russ. Even
December, man.
It was Vogel. Now it's Pelicas. It's you knew it was coming. And I know they've had injuries, but guess what? Everybody's had injuries. Look at what the Miami Heat's gone through. They're first. Look what the Chicago Bulls have gone through. No Lonzo, no Caruso. Like look what the Bucks have gone through. No Lopez. Look what the Warriors have gone through. Draymond's missed almost 30 games now this year.
You haven't had Klay Thompson for 2 years.
In the 20s, and you didn't have Klay Thompson for 2 years. And you're missing Weissman, who was the number 2 overall pick last year. You're missing that kid. Like you're working with guys that nobody wanted. You know what I'm saying? So that's no excuse. It's just their fan base. And it's not their fan base. Because I know real Laker fans. I live out here. Real Laker fans aren't doing their tweeting. Those are the narcissist fans. That's what those are who have now, I'm right with him, so I'm cheering for the Lakers.
You know what's funny? You bring that up.
There are some real Laker fans out here I've met where I told one the other night, I said, she looked at me and she goes, well, Pelinka. I said, excuse you? Oh my. And I've known her 15, 16 years. I've never heard her blame a GM for nothing for the Lakers. Even when Kobe wasn't winning, she was like, I mean, Kobe's my boy, but he's got to get it together. He's got to this. He's got to. I respect fan bases like that who do it like that. But when you start to blame, and it was because you have this guy now, I was like, oh my God. I used to respect Laker fans, and now I look at him and shake my head, and I go, I'm old enough to remember when Magic got eliminated. There was no excuses. Trade this guy, get this guy. With him and Jabbar.
That's any okay. It's any fan base now with social media, like Seahawks. Same thing. Whatever team. But the Lakers are just elevated. And what I will say about the Lakers is a lot of these Laker fans, I follow a Laker, I follow like a bunch of topics, so I kind of
Yeah.
see, what people are saying about their teams, what, events are happening. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not like a Rob G or like a, try to think of a, someone else besides like, it's not your average Laker fan. It's not like a Magic Johnson tweet. It's always these just random people on Twitter who probably have like 30 followers. It's like obviously
I don't even pay attention to those pages.
I just scroll through them because I think it's funny, man. I just think,
Yeah.
oh, because then you'll see, if you really dig, you'll see like this. There's an exaggeration, but it proves my point. You'll see Pelinka's the best GM. 2 days later, Pelinka sucks.
Yeah,
it's just like, Jesus, dude.
But see, that's
but you do. But that's the thing.
tweeted,
Okay, that's the thing with fandom.
I tweeted yesterday, and it was at fans. It was basically, look, man, everything isn't for everybody. You always can keep scrolling or unfollow.
Yeah, okay.
I scroll all day long. There's days I don't even read certain people's stuff because I'm like, bro, I'm not about to read that you're putting up. They have 71 points in the first half. Jesus.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say too is, look, I'm sure a lot of us, if we like live tweet a game, and it's our team's game, so there's times where I tweet about Seahawks, and I'll admit it, I probably say the same things. Half like, I think I said, like cut somebody, but half the time I'm joking, half the time being serious. But that's just fandom, man. When you love a team, you just act like it's,
I can't. I have to always be real. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I got you.
I can't.
Yeah. So, is there you got anything else, VJ, or
Nah, man. No, I don't. But this has been fun. That's all I got, man. Is as always. And I'm watching. Look, you can't see my eyes, but I know when people watch the show, I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at the computer. I'm listening to you. I'm looking at the phone. Because I'm watching all of these scores.
I've been scrolling through Twitter to see just what's happening too. Because like obviously.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm trying to. I'm just checking up on my hockey. I'm having a great hockey night right now. I am 4-1 in hockey. I took the over in Ottawa and Tampa Bay at 6. There were 7 goals. I took the under 6.5 in the Oilers and Flyers. There was 3. I took Detroit to beat Carolina, get that biscuit. I took the under 6.5 Calgary, Minnesota. There were 6 goals. Took the over in Montreal, Winnipeg. There was 12 goals. I am on fire in the NHL tonight with my bets. In the NBA too. My 3 didn't come in. My 3-pick parlay didn't come in. I'm gonna cash in on the Mavs and the Pistons, but Golden State, Minnesota, they didn't want me to be great. And I took the under on the 231 and it went to 237. So I missed that by 6.
Dude, I obviously like I'm not old enough to bet, but like I'll tweet out like picks, and it's just I had a horror. I do, once or twice a week. I'll start to do it more because it's fun. Yeah. But hey, you gotta have fun with it. Like, who cares what people say? But I tweeted a couple of days ago, man. I've never like it was I was just like, oh my god, what a man. Like there's times where like my wild card weekend, my over unders, I was chilling, my picks. I was like 4-5-1 or something like that. I was on a roll wild card weekend. My Super Bowl prop bets, I was on a roll too. Like I got the Van Jefferson one. I got the over we talk about this on Twitter. The over under for Cooper Kupp, man. And it wasn't that look, my Cooper Kupp, I say it's gonna have the over in yards, under in receptions. Cooper Kupp can break plays. He even have over 100 yards. Like, how crazy was that? But he had 8 grabs. I honestly thought I wasn't really counting, but like towards like the last minute of that game, I'm like, oh, he just hit the over.
That's the only one I lost. That's the only one I lost. I lost the Cooper Kupp. I had him on the over, but I hit on the over.
My reasoning was it's a Super Bowl. Like, if you don't like, if you like, most of the game, Cooper Kupp wasn't even that. It was like those last like like 6, like the last drive, man. That's when Cooper Kupp.
Last drive. Well, yeah, he got a bulk of it on the last drive.
Yep, because he had.
So, yeah, I did. I think during the playoffs, just with all the game bets, I was 11-3 or 11-4 or 10.
Oh, the one that really got me, the one that I'm like, oh man, was the divisional weekend. I picked when my upsets were reversed, right? I picked the upsets and I was wrong. right? Or the upsets, yeah, and then the favorites. Like all my favorites, I was 1-3. That's right. But the favorites, the two favorites, I was like, okay, I was like, I really like the Titans. I was real on them. Come on, like and then Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, I'm sorry, 3 picks in the playoff game. You can't expect to win it. But
the only ones I lost was Raiders didn't cover. I lost that one. Oh yeah, I lost on the Raiders. I lost on the Raiders not to cover. I'm trying to think because I mean, you know, I picked San Fran over Dallas. I won that. I put San Fran over. Over Green Bay. I won that. I picked the Bengals.
Yeah, I saw, dude. I texted you. I'm like,
yeah, I picked the Bengals at KC.
That was an embarrassing performance for Green Bay too.
Yeah, I picked the Bengals at KC. I had the Bengals at Tennessee because I don't like Ryan Tannehill. And I told people before the game, I said, if you put it in Tannehill's hands, he'll give you the game. He'll throw this damn game away, and he did it. Because I don't want to hear the excuses of, well, it hit off receivers' hands and all that. It still comes to count an interception.
3 picks in the playoffs, VJ. Yep. Come on.
3 picks, man.
Even if Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times, and it's Tannehill. I'm sorry, man. That's all Tannehill.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all Tannehill. So, but yeah. Anyway, I did very, very well, and right now I'm almost close to 60% in my NHL picks. I'm getting so much better with NHL as NHL goes on. By this football season, dude, website's gonna be up and running. I have Husky Bets website. It'll be a subscription website. You guys can subscribe with a monthly fee of a reoccurring monthly fee, and that's how you'll be able to get my best picks and my top picks and extra picks and stuff like that. Giving away for free to build my name and build my percentage up so people can see. But by the time football starts, you gotta subscribe. No more free picks, no more freebies, no more freebies online. I might give out 1 free parlay a day.
Yeah. Hey, whatever makes money makes money. VJ,
yep.
This was fun. Like we didn't even. It got to the point where we weren't even like chopping it. Like we just went all over the place. And
yeah, man, that's the best radio.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to clip here. I think I'm obviously gonna clip like my Murray thing, your L word. Probably someone. I bet one person in the audience thinks we're saying something bad when we say the L word.
Well, there is no bad L word though. When you think
about
it.
I bet you know, obviously yeah, but people, if someone's like,
I mean, the worst you can get is what, lick me?
Yeah, ligma.
Lick me? I mean, this is the best you could get, man. So, but no, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you.
It was fun, and I gotta say, man, you really like you kind of ball-washed me last episode. I gotta say, for me having a co-host, I can learn to talk more, and you help me out, man. And it's always fun to get a different but real take in here, and we did it. VJ on Twitter at HuskyENT, Unsportsmanlike with VJ, Unsportsmanlike Conduct with VJ podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. VSN Sports on the YouTube, VSN Sports on IG, right? Or you're at the Big Vanilla Funny.
On IG it's the Big Vanilla Funny.
Yep, and then. What's your TikTok, man? You start going on there?
I just started a TikTok because a comedian friend of mine told me to do one. I need to probably come up with some more funny videos and put them out because I haven't done enough, I don't think. So what is my TikTok name? Oh, I'm the Big Vanilla Funny on TikTok also.
All right, go give him a follow. Follow me. Twitter, EmmettNosi04, Emmett Nosi on IG, Blindside Sports 00, where I post all the show clips over there. My Emmett Nosi's personal stuff, all the show clips. Sometimes I'll take screenshots of my tweets, put them over there. Blindside Sports 7 on TikTok, and my LeBron thing from last week's episode kind of going off. So yeah, go follow everyone, or go follow our socials. Go run it up. Show love to the podcast. Show love to VJ's podcast. Stay tuned for his website. Thank you for watching. It was a really good episode. Hey man, new episodes out Thursday, Friday with Iowa Sam and Rob G. See ya.